All right, guys, it is Tesla earnings day. It's a beautiful day. We'll see what Tesla ends up showing for their earnings report. We're going to do some polls here like we always do. And yeah. Let me know if you can hear the music. You should be able to hear it. I'm going to get the Tesla chart up quickly here. Looks like the market has reversed some from when I first looked at it. I looked at it this morning. Nice. We ended up buying this Microsoft dip today, and it looks like it was the right move, to be honest here. Check it out. So we are up $130 beautiful on our little dip buy in Microsoft. I'm going to sit on this, though. You know, we bought the Microsoft dip. We'll see if this continues to work. I ended up buying the dip in Microsoft. You can see I'm up about $130, $131 on 25 shares of Microsoft. So, looks good. Do me a favor, when you join the stream, hit the subscribe button. We're also going to do a poll here, bullish or bearish on today's Tesla earnings. Bull or bear, vote on this poll. It's a big day. We got the poll going live. We're also going to do a Twitter poll like we do. Calls or puts. Y'all hear the music? Let me know. All right. All right, guys, we are going to get our poll going live here. Earnings drop in at 4 p.m. So the actual earnings drop at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, hit that sub button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate you all. And vote on the poll on Twitter. I'm going to make the poll, what, 2 hours long? Just tweeted that poll out. Follow me on Twitter at Beginner Trades if you want to vote on that poll. We appreciate it. Lamont Blanc, man, listen, brother. I'm not claiming to make money. That's the difference. Like, I'm just a resourcing community, man. I'm not telling anybody to buy anything. I'm not telling anybody I'm the greatest ever. I'm not selling a course. I'm not selling my own service. I just kind of put out free stock market information, brother. I don't want the pressure of having to show anybody my broker statement. It just doesn't work like that. And again, if I'm not selling course or service, if I'm not telling people what to do, if I tell people I have no idea what's going to happen, then it shouldn't matter, man. You know, I'm not your enemy, bro. You know, I get it, getting mad at people. You got to be mad at the people selling you courses, you know, and telling you, giving you stock picks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do that here, bro. Everything I do is free. I don't claim to be an expert. I don't even claim to be a good trader, brother. Earnings drop at 4 p.m. They're not accurate at all, to be honest, Ren. It's not about accuracy either. There's a very common sentiment, though. Like, and the sentiment goes, like, if it's about an individual stock on Twitter, mostly bears. On YouTube, mostly bulls. Oh, yeah, we are top 3. That's right. I forgot about that. We are top 3 greatest traders. You know. Again, it goes Pee Wee Herman, John Snow, John Beginner Trading. Top 3 greatest traders ever. You know. Hey, what's up, Ren? Sully. Tessie calls. What's up, Travis? What's up, Manuel? Why'd you short Microsoft, bro? Like I said, I was telling people that I thought Microsoft might bounce this morning. Again, I was right. I mean, look, I'm up 130 something in it. Again, I have no idea what Microsoft does. Maybe it crashes down for you. I told people that this morning. But again, here's a very common thing, right? Like, and this is very, very, very common in the stock market, okay? Especially for traders. is that people see big gap downs. You know, the new trader is going to be like, oh, well, that's weak. Let me short it, or let me buy put options for it. Experience goes a long way. Experienced traders say, hey, we're extended short term on the downside. I'm going to buy that dip and bounce it back. Buy the dip works, man. I'm not telling you to do anything. I have no idea what's going to happen. The single easiest way to make money in the stock market, in my personal subjective opinion, is to wait for big drops in healthy blue chip companies and buy and sit. You wait for big, profound drops like 10% plus in healthy blue chips. You look for stocks that are down massively on the last year, but are blue chip healthy companies like Disney, Apple, Google, whatever you want to do. You wait for big emotional drops, you buy the dip and you sit. You're almost guaranteed to make money. I've been doing this a lot lately. It works really well. Again, I can't guarantee you're going to make any money. I can't guarantee you're going to make any money. I have no idea. Maybe they all crash after you buy it, for all I know. Not an investment professional. Don't sue me. And I might be wildly wrong about this. This is just something that works for me. Hey, what's up, Travis? Yeah, Microsoft bounced back nicely, man. Microsoft is down a lot. Again, I'm up about 100 and I bought it this morning. Look, my average is 235.68, roughly 235. If you round up, it's 235.69. And so I bought this thing right here this morning in pre-market. So I bought this thing at exactly right here is my entry price. And so again, I noticed the extension. I noticed the big drop. We got a big bounce back and we made money on it. All right, we're gonna get ready to send our newsletter like we always do. And we'll see what happens here. Again, I'm gonna stay in this. I'm not gonna mess with it right now. I'm gonna hold it overnight. Again, I get being mad, man. Again, I'm very. If you guys actually watch the stream, I'm pretty vocal about like not telling people what to do, not pressuring people to buy or sell anything. Don't sell a course. You can find most information out there for free. All that stuff, man. Again, I just try to be real with people. And if you appreciate that, again, hit the sub button. Let me know if you can hear the music. You should be able to. But yeah. I only call you when it's past 5. All right, guys. So hit the sub button, hit the like button. I appreciate it. I have no idea what Tesla's going to do. I hope it's good. We got 43 votes on our poll 5 minutes ago. We got about 61% saying call options, about 39% saying put options. And so we'll see if they're good, man. We are sending out our newsletter here, so if you want to be a part of our newsletter, again, it's completely free. Doesn't cost a thing. beginnertrading.net/memberships. Here is the link if you want to sign up for that. Yeah, Michael says, good morning, John, or good afternoon, John. You're as neutral as can be. Yeah, 100%. That's the goal here, man. Like I said, I've been doing this, like I've been like this for years too. Like I've been exactly like this. I don't tell people I'm an expert. I don't even like people get mad at me for day trading, but I day trade, I swing trade, I invest. Whatever we got to do, I do it. But again, I think it's really important because I think a lot of people feel taken advantage of in the stock market. I think a lot of people feel taken advantage of. And I understand that. You got a bunch of young 18-year-olds with braces trying to act like stock market experts, trying to tell people that they know some super secret, stock market tip that's going to make them millions. It's all ridiculous. It's nonsense. Like I make money from this. Don't get me wrong. And that's another part of my honesty is that I just try to be honest. Like, yeah, you better believe I sit here and I make money doing this. I'm spending hours and hours a day doing this. And so of course I make money, but I don't tell people to buy anything. I never give out stock picks. Like I don't sell a course. I don't sell a service myself. I don't claim to be an expert or even a good trader. And I just try to report data quickly so people can have the best edge they can on what I report. But of course, I have no idea what's going to happen. Nobody does. Anybody that claims to, it's just nonsense. Bears are still alive under the maker. Yeah, man. I tell people this morning too that, like, if we look at the SPY here, Microsoft's looking nice. Like I said, we're up about $130 there. The SPY, just beautiful rip back over 400s. The real question is, what does JP do in next Wednesday? And exactly a week from now, the Fed rate hike decision is going to come in. Do you think 50 basis points, 25 or 0? Those are the three options. It's never going to be 75, in my opinion. It's going to be 50, 25, or nothing. And I don't think it's going to be nothing. So I think it's going to be 15 or 25. I would bet on, I would say it's probably more likely for 50. For the rate hike decision, more likely for 50, but it could also be 25. If it's 25, the market's going to rip up. If it's 50, the market might drop. So I'll forget about it. Kurt, you see what I did there? If making money in market had those simple rule that could be explained in a course, then you wouldn't make money in the market. If everyone can, it's not paying back. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, you want to make money. Here's the truth, right? This is the actual truth. All right. And I'm going to preface it with, like, yo, I cannot guarantee anything. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about everything. Do not copy me. If you do copy me, you're liable for losses. I'm definitely not, because I'm telling you, I have no idea what I'm doing. Now, with all that said and out the way, in my personal subjective opinion, again, the easiest way to make money in the market is to look for low PE companies. So low price to earnings companies that make a lot of money and are cheap, basically. That are blue chips, not mid caps. Mid caps are the scammiest stocks in the world because they're above penny stocks, so people think they're more legitimate, but they're below blue chips. So it's like they're not really established companies, and their value can fluctuate massively. People lose so much money on mid caps, just getting super behind a mid cap, and then it just kind of goes down, and they just sit. Only blue chips, Disney, Apple, Google. You got to think about it like if a company's going to be around in 5 years in your head, and it needs to be. What companies have been around for over 30 or 40 years? Those are the companies I'm talking about, that everybody knows. Coca-Cola, Disney, Google, Apple, so forth and so on. I can keep going on and on. Wait for those companies to drop big. You got to ignore the people screaming about a crash, in my opinion, because people have been saying the market's going to crash every day in my live streams for the last year. You wait for those companies to drop big. And when I say big, I mean over 10%. And you buy those up and you hold them for years if you need to. But most of the time, you're not going to have to if you time them right. You'll be, most of the time, you'll be fine. And if you diversify and do that enough, in my opinion, subjectively, of course, it's pretty easy to make money if you do that. Again, emotional moves here. Here's Microsoft. I bought the dip this morning. Just 25 shares, nothing crazy. I'm up about $130 in a day. And tomorrow morning I will take profit, a little bit of profit into this if it's up more, and we'll sit on some more. And the other part of the system is you just take profit when you're up. You don't get impatient. You don't get too patient. You just take profit if you're up big. And you can also take partial profits, which is what I do. So I take half off or a quarter off, or 30% or 60% or whatever you want to do. And then you just sit on it and wait. Right, 100%, Jimmy. It's really what makes money. The single easiest money to make in the market is holding things long term. Holding something long term is the easiest money you can make. People can say, "Oh, well, no, stuff isn't guaranteed long term." That's fine. S&P 500 companies, you can do it with the S&P 500 itself. Gives you on average for decades and decades now 8 to 12%. And so the S&P 500 is going to give you on average 8 to 12% a year. At least it's got a very high probability of doing so. And so that is the easiest money in the market. You buy and you sit. If you're up big, you take profit. If you're not up big, you sit. You bag hold, so to speak. But of course, like I said, I'm not telling you to do anything. You might just lose tons of money doing this. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing. And yeah. Bro, I couldn't help eat donuts, bro. I had donuts with Dad this morning. And like, if you haven't heard me talk about it, bro, I eat half a freaking donut, dude, and I am sick. If I eat, age sucks. Getting old sucks, bro. They say, oh, what's so bad about getting older? You make more money. You're more mature. You know, you got nicer things. That's cool and all, but I can't eat a freaking donut without getting sick. It's terrible. You know? It's like, I can't eat donuts. I can't eat spaghetti. You know? Chicken Parmesan, I can't eat that either. It's horrible. You know, it's like worst case. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Yeah, I'm not personally buying anything, yo. The reality of it is you don't know what Tesla's going to say or report during this earnings report, and taking huge, big gambling-sized positions ahead of it is just that, a gamble. Personally, you don't know what they're going to do. A company can report great EPS, great sales revenue, great guidance, and fall 10%. If they do, I'm buying them up. If they're blue chip, I'll probably buy those companies. But that's my point, is that you have no idea what's going to happen. And so I can react to earnings reports. I can, you know, attack a trend after they drop them, but I'm certainly not taking some huge position ahead of them. The same thing with economic data, PPI, CPI, rate hike decision. I'm not betting on that. Again, those are gambles. You know, the easier money is to wait for the data to come out and then, you know, piggyback off of it, a trend or whatever you want to do. What's up, DS? At least you still look 15. I know. Listen, I'm riding that. Listen, I'm, you know, I'm in my early to mid 30s, and I'm, you know, I still get carded, which is great. I'll take it, man. Listen, you know, I don't know. I'm starting to get those forehead wrinkles, so I don't know how much longer that's gonna last either. But like, I'm happy with it so far. You know, I hated looking young all my life, and now I'm older, and I can kind of now finally appreciate it. All right, guys, Tesla earnings day. It's time. I get all excited during these big earnings reports. All right, guys. So Tesla pull it back a little bit. We're right at 144.50s here. Microsoft's still ripping up. Again, we're up about 140 now. And again, I'm just gonna let this ride. $140 is not life-changing money, and so I could just sit on this. If it goes up more, great. If it pulls back, I'll have a nice little entry. We'll see. Hopefully Tesla says something positive and positively influences this position in one way off of sympathy, I'm hoping, but we'll see. Yeah, expectations for Tesla. We'll put this up on screen so you guys can see it. Expectational numbers for Tesla are 113 EPS and 26.16 bill in sales revenue is what they are currently expecting. And growth is expected to come in at 47%. We will put these numbers up on screen. All right, so these numbers are up on the screen. Here is the Tesla expectations. Yes, HC. We're going to drop the numbers as soon as they come out. We're also going to stream the full earnings call so you can listen to everything they say. Listen to Elon talk about whatever. We're going to cover the numbers as soon as they come out too. All right, guys. So let's look at our poll numbers here on YouTube. We got about 200 votes. 58% are bullish, 42% are bears. As I suggested, on YouTube, mostly bulls. On Twitter, mostly bears, I would say, but a little bit, honestly, Tesla calls are winning on Twitter as well. 56%, 44% saying put options. Bear market was 2022. It's over. I hope so, man. Plus 11% on Tesla. Nice, man. Yeah, good luck. Most retails and puts and shorts. Time to send the spot to the moon. I hope so, man. Big Giga. We'll see, Rick. Yeah, we'll see if they set records, man. They could. It's certainly possible we do. We'll see. We also have IBM earnings coming out today. So we do have IBM numbers dropping this morning or this evening too. IBM is expected to come in at 361 EPS on 16.37 billion in sales revenue. And again, some people might be looking at this and say, hey, why are IBM's EPS higher than Tesla's? Because it's earnings per share. And so I'm assuming here, let me see what the cap of Tesla, or what the float of Tesla is, and then we can correlate that with IBM to see kind of the differences in profit potential for something like Tesla versus IBM. Tesla has currently about 3.2 billion outstanding shares. So them earning whatever, let me find it, where'd it go? Them earning 113 per share is a lot in terms of EPS that quarter. It means they earned, over what was their outstanding shares? It means they earned over $3.15 billion that quarter in terms of profitability. And the EPS is a gauge on profitability. Now, when we compare that to IBM has about 900 million shares, so literally about 4x smaller than Tesla in terms of income. But yeah, IBM's coming out with their numbers. We'll see if that influences markets. But yeah, Tesla. Twitter's not listed. It's a private company. There's no shares for Twitter. It's not public shares. I have 100 shares. I have no idea, Chris. No idea, man. Again, I'm certainly not going to tell somebody to buy or sell anything. I have no idea what's going to happen here, and I would feel bad if I said, yeah, buy more or something, and then Tesla crashed, or I said, yeah, get out of there, and then Tesla ripped up. But I'm just going to say I have no idea. I'll put it this way. Anytime I'm up big in anything, I generally take at least a little bit of profit. I take at least a little bit of profit. Now, how much profit varies, but generally when I'm up at least a little bit in anything, I take some profit to protect the trade. That way, if it turns on me, then I'm break even or slightly green or slightly red instead of just big red, big green, or big red, or super polarized trades. I try to always just keep them as safe, risk managed wise as possible. In general, what people do during earnings, well, it depends on how long you're holding it, Chris. So generally, you got a lot of people that do a lot of different things. You got some people that gamble on earnings and take huge positions. You got some people who take far outside the money positions where the accuracy rate might be less than 50%, but the risk to reward is high. You got some people who just stay flat, kind of like me ahead of these big reports, and then piggyback of whatever reaction we get. Stuff like that. Like it just varies. Depends on how long you're planning on holding it. If you're planning on holding it for years, then this report is relatively insignificant. If you're planning on holding it for a week or two, then this report means everything. And there's a lot of risk that comes with it. So, regardless of what you want to do there. No, not in aftermarket. Only during market hours. You can only buy or sell options during market hours. Also, give me a follow on Twitter, man. I need to start tweeting my trades so people can counter trade me no matter what I buy, it drops, and when I sell, it goes green. Honestly, Timmy, I'll tell you a story. All right. So when I first started day trading, All right, I had the same mentality. I was like, yo, everything I do, I'm losing money on. What do I do here? Like everything I do, I lose on. Same concept, same thought process. Like, man, what do I do? What I did, like, and the problem was simple. When I was day trading, I was buying high of the day breakouts. I was buying these high of the day breakouts. I was shorting low of the day stuff, and it just was not working. What I did was start taking the opposite of my trades. I said, okay, well, hey, if I'm losing on every freaking trade, then why don't I just do the opposite of what I've been doing? And on both ways. So instead of buying high of the day breakouts, I bought pullbacks instead and analyzed extension a lot more on swing trades instead of buying up these really hyped up companies that are up super big. Kathy Wood. I instead wait for large pullbacks and then instead, look for really deep extension in healthy companies and buy pullbacks that are, big. And it worked a lot better. So sometimes finding something that loses all the time is a good thing because you can just do the opposite and make money. Now, I'm not telling you to do anything, brother. I'm not saying to do anything, but like, hey, do what you got to do. What is John's lock of the day? Nothing. Don't trade. So if the earnings report comes out bad because market is closed, yeah, you're stuck in an option. So if the earnings report comes out bad, could I just not sell my shares till the market opens for some same value they are now? No. So in pre-market and specifically what you're referencing is after hours. And after hours, the price changes, man. Just because something closed at $140 or whatever it is, doesn't mean it's going to open at $140. And it doesn't mean that you can sell the stock for the same price. Stocks can drop big in pre-market, and especially on earnings days. And it's not like you're going to be able to say, oh, well, Microsoft closed at 140. When I get up tomorrow, I'm just going to sell my shares at 140, even though it dropped down to 130 at after hours. It doesn't work like that. I mean, I day trade, Arson, but I also swing trade. I also invest, and I made money in terms of like my broad financial earnings, like crypto stocks. I made money last year, and I paid taxes on them. Capital gains taxes. I had to pay capital gains taxes. That's what you do. But I mean, like I said, I'm not just a day trader. Like I swing trade, I invest. I trade crypto. I'm not claiming to be great or anything at any of them, but yeah. Disney plans to roll out some of Hulu's ad targeting capabilities to Disney Plus. That's probably a good thing. I don't know, Rin. I mean, I guess he could. I'm not sure about the laws regarding that. Yeah, I really don't know about stuff executing or whatever. Yeah, what's the toilet paper quality at IBM? I bought Tesla at 220, 225 years ago. Still scared of earnings day. Momo, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, Gregory? Are you hoping for it to go up or down? I guess I want it to go up because it'll positively influence Tesla being kind of a tech stock. Is going to positively influence other stocks. Y'all hit the like button. Do it now. I would never pressure you to, but if you don't, I'll hate you forever. Okay, hit the like button. But no, with that said, I want Tesla to go up for a bunch of different reasons. But yeah, I want it to go up. It's going to positively affect the market, all that stuff. All right, guys, Tesla earnings. Be ready, team. IBM drops at 410 too. We're also going to stream the full earnings call like we always do here, team. All right, guys, Tesla up to 140. Tesla up to 145, bouncing right at that previous closing price level here. So look at the previous close. Right at that previous closing price level, it's bouncing back up. We got our poll numbers on Twitter. 55% are saying call options. 45% are saying put options. On actual YouTube, we got about 300 votes. 55 are bullish, 45 are bearish. So the votes are the same here. Interesting. Votes are the same on Twitter and YouTube. 55% bullish, 45% bearish. On Twitter, we got 55% call options, 45% put options. Tesla's still moving up. There's 145 right here. We can watch that level to see if it does anything at 145. All right, guys. So Tesla tapped 145s. Earnings drop in about 15 minutes. Microsoft at 240s right now. 240s. I definitely want Tesla to go up. Yeah, Daniel, big investor in Tesla. Netflix post earnings rip. Yep. Had to double down on Tesla this morning. Good luck, Alex. Yeah, market's ripped up. I mean, I'm happy with it. Like I said, I'm in Microsoft. I bought the Microsoft dip this morning. We're up, some. I'm going to sit on it, though. Hopefully, Tesla comes up and with some powerhouse numbers and pushes the market up more. Analyst expectations are once again completely imaginary. Don't mean anything to us. Yeah, for sure. I mean, analysts are just analysts, man. Again, very rarely are they right in terms of actual earnings reports. All right, guys, we're at 240 right now for Microsoft, 240. Tesla rejected at 145 here. We can put the SPY up. I think the SPY is the most relevant one. SPY big green day today, man. Big green day. Tesla at 144.50s. Put the Q up as well. What's Tesla's percentage in the Q? Let's see. All right, so the Q is mostly Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Google. Tesla's number 7, making up about 3% of the Q. The SPY has a larger percentage of Tesla in there, which is the S&P 500. But yeah, Tesla pulled it back to the previous closing price. Might be a relevant bounce level here. We'll see if we can bounce right there at 144s for Tesla. 144s. Still got about 10 minutes. Would you agree that Tesla is in a huge descending, broadening wedge? Depends on what time frame, Corey. I sold a whole bunch of Tesla around this peak of 300. Now I'm slowly buying back on the way up or indeed down. Yeah. Broadening wedge. We can look at it here. Here's 180 days. We can look at a 20-year chart. I'll say this, though. Technical chart patterns mean very, 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 very little long-term. All right, I want people to really understand that. Technical chart patterns mean very little long-term, okay? Like, technical patterns can work, but understand fundamentals is what moves stocks long-term, not technicals. You can see the biggest, best triangle on a yearly chart. It probably won't mean that much. Like, you'll have big relevant support and resistance levels. Those can matter. But in terms of like broad, like year, like looking at a daily chart, for instance, you might find some patterns, but they just don't mean that much on a long-term scale because fundamentals trump everything in that regard. So that's something really important to understand. Long-term fundamentals certainly trump technicals. Short-term technicals, it depends, but long-term certainly fundamentals move the stock in its direction and health more so than technicals. Would go to 120 after earnings report. I don't know. We'll see. It's at 145 now. Tesla's had a big bounce back, man, over the last couple minutes. Yeah, so again, we can look at a Tesla earnings graph, right? I love looking at these earnings graphs because it gives you an understanding of kind of like what we're looking at for Tesla. So remember, EPS is a gauge on profitability. And so if we look at the EPS graph for Tesla here, Tesla, and this is from macrotrends.net, the last drop is 323. So if we do come in as expected here for Tesla, like if we do show up as expected here, it's still going to be the lowest earnings report this year, basically. The last one, let me see what the date is here. So the last one that was lower than this was in 21. So it's the lowest earnings report over the last year and a half, essentially. So yeah, that's stuff to really understand about it. It's going to be a lower report, most likely, unless Tesla just beats it. But with that said, though, lower EPS expectations or lower expectations, maybe we have a big bounce back as possible. Fundamentally, Tesla sticks to its promised 50% average year-over-year growth. My guess is that this year might be higher than that. The fourth quarter report actually drops in about 8 minutes or so, about 8 minutes. The actual earnings call is much later. Earnings call is in about an hour and a half. And we're going to stream both of them like we always do, guys, so don't worry. We are going to stream both of them like we always do. The full thing, you'll be able to see all of it here, All right, so Tesla shares are trading lower after one of the senators said he would introduce legislation to delay the implementation of new EV tax credits. Morgan Stanley maintained an overweight rating, but it cut its price target from 250 to 220. All right, guys, we got a couple minutes before the market closes. Tesla earnings should drop shortly afterwards. About 5 minutes afterwards. We are going to put it in sub-only mode. So for everybody here, listen, if you have not hit that subscribe button, do so now. We are going to throw it in sub-only mode and hit that sub button. Let us hit that growth up, and we certainly appreciate it. Earnings are coming out pretty soon. We still got about 7 or 8 minutes left before the actual earnings drop. So be ready. And we'll see if we get some good numbers here for Tesla. We got about 500 people here. Is the SPY hitting 420 in February? It might. It depends on what. It's earnings season right now. To put it in perspective, it's earnings season. It also depends a lot on what JP says for the rate hike. The rate hike decision is coming next Wednesday. So in exactly a week from now, we get the rate hike decision. That's going to influence stuff too, for sure. That's definitely going to influence stuff. So again, hit the like button, guys. We need 4 likes to hit 100. You could do better than this team. Come on now. SPY just broke over the previous closing price. So the SPY just technically went green on the day. And we're still in Microsoft. But yeah, market's starting to pump. Let's see if it continues back up here. Yeah, I'm calling it Halt Tuesday. Halt Tuesday, man, was weird the other day. All right, guys, here's the end of the day. We are going to pull up. Hey, thank you, my guy, Ali B. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. All right, guys, there's the closing bell here. Now, Tesla should have about 5 minutes before they drop their earnings. About 5 minutes. Now, we got everything up here. We are patiently waiting for the actual Tesla earnings to drop. Again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thousands of people tune into these streams because we cover the data quick. So tune in. Tesla's moving a little bit, but nothing crazy here. Waiting for the numbers to drop. All right, so there's the closing bell. Tesla at 145s, roughly 145s. No earnings out yet. You can kind of see we're not really getting much movement. But yeah, thank you, my guy, Ali B. I appreciate that, man. So yeah, Tesla's starting to move a little bit here. It is a little bit more volatile than we normally see. You can see it right here on the left side. This is Tesla. It is moving some. Earnings are not out yet. We're just kind of sitting back waiting for those numbers to come. So we got some time, but yeah, patiently waiting here for the Tesla results to drop, which should be any moment now. About 4 minutes actually is when they come out. So they're scheduled for 4 minutes. Earnings out at 4, sometime after 4. It's never exact, but I think we're gonna get it at 4:05. All right, we're at 144.40s right now, guys. 144.40s, moving. SPY pumping up though. SPY at 400.5s right now. So the SPY's at 400.5s. Tesla still kind of neutral and sideways here. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so here's the earnings schedule and procedure. All right, so you get the earnings report, drops at 4. They're 4:05, so that's in 3 minutes. We get the earnings report. So that's really what's going to move Tesla more than anything else is the actual earnings report. The earnings call is later. We will stream the entire call. You'll be able to, if Elon's there, you'll be able to hear him, all that good stuff. But the actual earnings report is what moves Tesla, and that's what we're kind of sitting here waiting. Twiddling our thumbs waiting for that number to drop. Now Tesla got a little bit of green action. You'll know when the report drops too, because you're going to see a big fluctuation in price up or down. That's what we're waiting on right now. We should have about 3 minutes here, but you can tell Tesla earnings are not out yet because Tesla's not moving at all. What did Canada do for their rate hike decision today? I didn't catch it. Tesla just got a little pop up. It's not the earnings though. You'll see when the earnings are out. When the earnings are out, Tesla will move. All right, so Bank of Canada did 4.5%, so 25 basis points for the interest rate decision. So they did 25 basis points. I wonder if that's what the U.S. is going to do. Tesla's starting to push up there at 144.50s. I'm an though, Eddie. I say a lot. I get it from Master P, Make him say Tesla going up is at 144.60s. SPY up there at 400.5s. Over the previous closing price. So the SPY is technically green on the day right now. I don't know if it's going to hold that, but SPY is technically green on the day. Tesla's going to influence it a lot. Tesla makes up about 6% of the S&P 500. Apple's the S&P's biggest percentage stock, but Tesla's a big one too. It's relevant. It'll move markets. It involves the Q and everything else like that too. So I'm bullish, but I don't know. Again, I hope it goes up. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I really don't know what we're gonna get. Yeah, so Tesla at 145s, moving up. The earnings actually aren't out yet, but we're waiting here for the numbers to drop. So Tesla just broke highs pre-earnings report because the earnings aren't out yet. Again, this move is nothing compared to what the earnings will actually show when they do drop. This is just kind of bulls buying it up. Again, we got over 1,000 people here. Master P reminds me of high school. Hey. No, the earnings report is going to move the stock way more than anything Elon could say. I mean, it might move. He might say something that'll move it, but the actual results are what are really going to move it more than anything else. Again, Tesla moving up is good for everything. It should positively influence other stuff too. So, yeah, hit that sub button, hit the like button. All right, we got a big green candle here. Still nothing yet though. Waiting for the data to come out. Patiently waiting here. What's the most viewers you had? Last Jerome Powell conference, Powell conference, we had about 8,000 people here live. So about 8 times what we have now. Listen, I appreciate you guys. I'm happy to have 1,000. Yeah, 7,500, 8,000, a little bit under 8K maybe. Yeah, I've bet Master P before. That's a funny story that I'll talk about once Tesla numbers are out. So Tesla numbers should have been out already, but for whatever reason they're later reporting here. Las Vegas Sands did report their numbers. They dropped -22 EPS, expected -9 cents. Revenue of 1.12 billion, expected 1.18 billion. So we'll put that up in the chat. Tesla's not out yet. We're waiting for these numbers to be released here. And I see some red action. It doesn't look like it's the earnings report though, but we're getting some volatility. Getting some volatility here. All right, it looks like they might be out here. Green action. Not really a lot, though. We're getting some volatility for sure, but it doesn't look like they're out yet. All right, Tesla dropped 119, beat 113 estimates. Tesla is out. Here's the numbers on screen. Tesla is out. It dropped 113, beat the 119, beat the 113 estimates. Sales revenue beat expectations as well. Here is the data for Tesla. But Tesla is not liking that result here. It's actually dropping down some. It's under the VWAP. It's under the previous closing price. It showed up as 119, beat the 113 estimate. Sales of 24.32 billion, beat the 24.03 billion estimates. Now it's starting to head back up. So green action coming. Numbers are out for Tesla. Tesla with the EPS and sales revenue beat. But it's not really reacting as positive as you might think. They say they're planning to grow production as quickly as possible. We're going to put these numbers up on screen. And it looks like we're trying to hold. We got some two down wicks here, but now we just broke under the previous closing prices. It is dragging the market down. Adjusted EBITDA is 5.4 billion. Automotive gross margin is 25.9 billion. Fourth quarter total production is up to 439,701, up 44% year over year. Fourth quarter total deliveries is at 405.278 thousand, up 31% year over year. All right, so there's Tesla, and they just went really green, back all the way up to the highs. A lot of volatility here, a lot of indecision coming out right now, a lot of indecision. But yeah, they beat on everything. They beat on EPS. They beat on sales revenue. Fourth quarter automotive. We're dropping all the other stuff in chat. So if you want to see kind of the rest of the talking points of their earnings report, look in the chat. Their fourth quarter automotive revenues went up to 21.307 billion. 21.307 billion. We're also going to post this on Twitter. The big rip up to 156 or 146 is here for Tesla. 146 is here for Tesla. Huge rip up in Tesla here. Huge rip up to 148s here, guys. They said they have sufficient liquidity to fund product roadmap, long-term capacity expansion plans, and other expenses. Fourth quarter automotive revenue is up to 21.307 billion, up 33% year over year. So yeah, some really positive things are being said, up to almost 150. Tesla's flying up, dragging the rest of the market up. We're going to drop... We're dropping all these talking points in the chat. All right, guys. They reported... We're putting all this data up on screen at the very bottom. Tesla's flying up. Just tapped 150s here. Just tapped 150s. All right, we got all this stuff up on the bottom of the screen here. Tesla now pulling back to 146s here. I don't see any guidance numbers. I'm not sure if Tesla reports guidance numbers, if I can remember correctly. But yeah, huge pop and then a big pullback down to 145s here. Tesla says that the Cybertruck remains on track to begin production later this year at the Gigafactory in Texas, and that the next gen vehicle platform is under development. Putting this data up on chat. All right, big pullbacks in Tesla, starting to really dip here, testing that previous closing price. Big pullbacks now. Interesting. All right, guys, we are pulling all the way back to 143.50s, 143.70s here. So big momentum coming through. Again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We cover all the big data very, very quickly. Hit the notification bell, guys. We appreciate the love and support. Help us keep growing. Fourth quarter net revenue came in at 3.7 billion, guys. 3.7 billion. We're at 144s right now, guys. 144s. We got their full earnings report. And again, we're going to stream the full earnings call. And we will stream the full earnings call. Sub to chat. Tesla's starting to bounce back. Kind of neutral right now, though. The SPY is breaking under 400. IBM dropped their numbers as well. We'll put those numbers up in chat. Yeah, here's IBM right here, Eddie. I got you. There's IBM right there in chat. Tesla up to 145s right now. So Tesla up to 145s. So we're kind of watching everything here. It's interesting. We'll see if we get some, movement. All right, we're at 145s for Tesla. Yeah, so SPY's right around $400. We're at $399.90s here. So again, it's been a pretty neutral market so far here. It's been a neutral market so far. Tesla is kind of going back and forth between red and green. Full list of their numbers right there. And so, yeah, Tesla just broke under the previous closing price. It's kind of battling that red to green, green to red level for Tesla right now. So, again, it's trying. We'll see if, it does anything good, but we're waiting. Again, we'll stream the full earnings call. Don't go anywhere. We will stream the whole call. What's up, Mike? Yeah, it's all good, bro. Listen, if you don't think the bear market's over, that's okay. I hope it is, but of course, I have no idea if it is or not. Tesla at 145s. SPY testing 400s, back over 400 for a split second, right at that $400 level. Tesla went up to 145, back down to 144s. Again, let me know what you guys think. Looking at our poll numbers here, we did get a lot of votes on our polls. Our polls, 54% are saying call options, 46% are saying put options. And honestly, we're pretty flat straight down the middle here. We're pretty flat straight down the middle. Hey, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, guys. Help the growth continue here. All right, guys. Tesla up to 145s. Trying to battle here. Here's the S&P 500 basically at right here at $400 even. Big psychological level. Very relevant spot. No, I'm not holding Disney anymore. I did buy Microsoft yesterday or this morning, though. So I am sitting on Microsoft, which is nice. Treating me well. You know, we're up over 100. I just feel a little bit better right now, but still struggling, man. All right, Tesla making another test up to 145s, almost 146s again, starting to rip back up. SPY back up to over 400. It's at 400.12. Tesla testing 146, over 145 now. We'll see if it actually holds support there. We are going to stream the full earnings call. Yeah, man. Listen, I'm going to let the haters of my trades, bro. Again, regardless of whether I sold or not, I told people Disney was objectively cheap at $83, $84, $85, $86. A lot of people hated on me. They called me a clown. They said, I bought the dip at 86. What a clown. What a joke. It's just straight crickets now, you know, ripped up huge percentages over the last few weeks. And I'm not going to say I told you so, but I definitely told all the haters, Disney. People underestimate that swing trading strategy that I talk about here. Like, they act like I'm just lucky or whatever, but like, man, come on. Y'all see. Same thing I said about Google at $90, you know. Hey, thank you, Tristan. Tesla at 145.20s. SPY broke under 400s, though. What's taking the market right now? Tesla looks like it's holding 145 support level. We drew that support level. It's holding. It's still moving up. Yeah, I'm definitely the top 3 most humble traders ever in the world right now, for sure. You know? I'll just give you, like, the most humble look ever. You look at me and you're like, man, that dude's humble. And it's like, I know. When you look this good, I mean, how can you not be humble about it? You know, like, we try to be, you know, we try to brag and stuff, but like, it's just so hard not to be humble. Tesla up to 145s. Oh, bro, my daughter got me this mug. Speaking of humility here, my daughter got me this mug. You know what it says? It says, I don't need Google. My father knows everything. Shout out to my daughter. The most accurate mug in the world right now, they say. Tesla under 145s. Let's see if it breaks. Mostly sideways. Indecision is really the name of the game right now for Tesla. The story of Tesla right now is indecision. It's just not doing anything. Going back and forth, up and down, sideways. Don't hate Eric. Listen, man. Listen. You know, I know it's easy. It's like, man, that dude's just so attractive, so handsome. Like, let me hate on him. I get that mindset. I really understand that mindset, you know, because like if I was looking at me in a mirror, I'd be like, man, let me hate on this guy. But what I'm saying is that doesn't get you anywhere, bro. Listen, Tesla at 145s right now, 145s. All right, so negative FX impact of 1.4 billion on Tesla. Tesla says focus on vehicle costs during this period of macroeconomic uncertainty, high interest rates, vehicle price deflation. We'll put all these comments in the chat. Hey, good luck, Kevin. Hey, good luck, man. Doge runs. Doge might be running with it. Let me look. Tesla offers Wall Street. Yeah. High outlook. Good outlook for Tesla. They talk about the Cybertruck. Again, they said that the Cybertruck remains on track to begin production later this year at the Gigafactory in Texas. The next-gen vehicle is under development as well, they said. They said that they continue to believe that the operating margin will remain highest amongst volume OEMs. Tesla says over time they expect hardware-related products to be accompanied with acceleration of software-related profits. They said that they have sufficient liquidity to fund the product roadmap, long-term capacity expansion plans, and other expenses. And fourth quarter automotive revenue came in at $21.3 billion, up 33% year over year. They're planning to grow production as quickly as possible, and that's yeah, that's it. So again, thoughts? Let me know. I'm looking at Dogecoin right now. Doge is up, but not a ton from this. Like, Doge hasn't really moved much from this. You know, not much. Yeah, I know. Listen, it should be. Hey, thank you, Hims. I appreciate it. How did IBM do? IBM, as expected, almost virtually as expected. They slight beat. So they did better than expected in revenue at 16.7 billion versus 16.4 billion expected, and EPS of 360 versus 360. So they reaffirm, or they came in as expected for EPS, which is profitability, and then their revenue was slightly higher than expected. All right, so Tesla quarter-end cash and cash equivalents and investments increased sequentially by 1.1 billion to 22.2 billion in the fourth quarter, driven by free cash flow of 1.4 billion. And again, we are putting all this data up on screen. Those didn't really move much. Yeah, but I mean, y'all have to understand, like somebody saying, hey, Tesla's struggling on great numbers. This doesn't give me confidence. The thing you got to understand is that extension heading into this, like earnings are going to, traders are going to input extension into their equation when they're looking at this, right? So here's the last 10 days of Tesla. It's gone up big percentages, right? From 114 to 150 essentially right now. That's a big percentage, man. That's a big percentage. That's 35, right? So that is a big percentage, man. That's a big percentage. That is roughly like, they've gone up $35 this year. So that's roughly like 30, like 28, 29, 30%. That's in my head. I don't know what the actual percentage is, but they've gone up like 20, 25 to 30% over the last couple weeks here. So there are some upward extension. Now, if we zoom out a little bit more, obviously, they were dropping massively ahead of that, but I do think that should be taken into consideration when you look at their reaction to this earnings report, as well as the fact that, they did beat, but it was just a slight beat. It wasn't like a huge beat. 119 versus 113 expected, not a huge beat. Sales revenue came in better than expected as well, but it was only sales revenue came in as expected. So this was actually mixed results, to be honest. It was on par with what's expected for sales revenue, and their EPS was slightly better than expected. Now, of course, they're saying good things, but of course they're going to say good things. Just to give you the other side of that. And I want Tesla to go up, but that's why they didn't have some huge bull reaction from this. I mean, they reacted positively, but that's why we're not just flying off the shelf right now. 150, remember I said this? Yeah, we already tapped 150 today. John, surely supply of materials will soon come into effect for Tesla, hence why we were all trying to buy so much last year. Maybe. It's a big increase, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. SPY just popped over 400 for a split second and then got rejected back down here. Yeah, if tomorrow's at 120, maybe it's a buy op. I don't know. We'll see. All right, Tesla rejecting under 145. Again, mostly sideways here. I mean, this is mostly a neutral. We moved up big, but we've just kind of been neutral since then. So sideways right now. Again, we'll see if we break out of this, but we're mostly sideways right now. All right, we're at 145s for Tesla, 145s. The SPY just cracked over 400. So the SPY did break 400. Tesla says that they're focused on vehicle costs during this period of macroeconomic uncertainty and high interest rates, vehicle price deflation, which we already knew. They lowered their price. They lowered their price last week. They announced it, and that had some influence on markets. But yeah, we're right now waiting for the earnings call. Bucks fan, bro. I mean, it's easy to be a Bucks fan when you got Tom Brady, but I don't know. I'm just hoping my guy Joe Burrow, rains down. Touchdowns on everybody, just like he did to, just like they did to, what's his name last weekend? What time is the CC for Tesla? It's in about an hour. And we're gonna sit here streaming the whole thing. Tesla up to 145s here, guys. SPY up to 400 plus. Right now it's 4:30. Conference calls at 5:30. Yeah, I'll do a timer. All right, so the conference call is in 1 hour and 4 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, Tesla under 145s. Yeah, the 49ers. No, the 49ers beat the Cowboys. Who did we play, man? My bad. I'm drawing a blank. Who did the Bengals play last week? The Bills, right. Josh Allen. That's right. All right, so SPY's still moving up here. We're over 400 on the SPY. But not by much, and we're slightly red on the day, slightly red. Microsoft still at 240s, Google at 9660s. We had a few other stuff drop earnings today, but we're at 400.2s right now on the SPY, 400.2s. Yeah, the Bills. Am I a Cowboys fan? Not really. I like Dak. Dak is from Louisiana, so I want Dak to win and do well. Am I a huge Cowboys fan, though? No. I'm a Saints fan. I'm from Louisiana. All right, Tesla still sitting right around 145s, rejecting, going back and forth there from 145s, 140s, 145s here. So it's still struggling to hold. Previous closing price is right there at 144s. So that might be something to pay attention to. Yeah, it was snowing bad too during that game, man. It was kind of crazy. All right, guys, SPY up to over 400s. And again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. One of the ways you can trade the SPY here. Here's the SPY on the left, or here's the SPY, and you'll notice here's the E-mini on the right. And so if I put these two up next to each other, here's the SPY in the middle, here's the SPY on the right, here's the E-mini on the left. Same price action. If we zoom in here, you'll see it's literally the same price action. Big spike, pull back, same price action. You can trade this right side here with no restriction in the PDT wheel. There's no PDT restriction on this middle side here in futures. So you can day trade futures without restriction. To do so, you need about 5 to 10K. One of the best ways to test yourself as a trader is to try out these funded account programs. Top Step is the most legit futures funded account program in the world. So they fund you if you prove profitability as a proprietary firm. And again, regardless of whether you get funded, they're the easiest way to test your skill. If you want to know whether you're ready to scale up, if you want to get around the PDT rule, the futures market's where you want to do it. And what Top Step does is they give you a demo. If you can hit the target on their demo while following their rules and conditions, then they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split. They're regulated by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They pay out millions of dollars every year in actual withdrawals. They fund thousands of traders a year. Again, regardless of whether you get funded, and I think a lot of people are not going to be able to get funded, but regardless of it, it's going to build your skill as a trader. Learning to follow rules and perform under pressure is a great way to do it. A lot of people don't have 5 or 10K, and so this is a good way to have some pressure to succeed. If you can pass it, you get funded. If you don't lose out on a bunch of money, and it's not the end of the world. When you compare that to risking thousands, if you try to do it yourself, I think Top Step makes sense. Here's the link. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm definitely biased in their favor. Here's a link if you want to check them out. Thank you, Kay. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, we got the earnings dropping. SPY moving all the way up to 400.3s. What's moving up with the SPY here? What's causing the SPYs pump up right now in markets? Like, why is the SPY moving up right now? I mean, I'm not mad at it. I want to see the SPY move up, but Tesla hasn't really moved that much here. So again, here is the E-mini on the right. Let's look at like Apple. Apple's not it. Amazon's not it. Microsoft's not it. Is this, let's see, Walmart, retail. Walmart's not it. Anybody know what's causing this big bounce? And specifically the SPY? The SPY, oh, it just got rejected. Okay, so nothing's really going on. Do you think AVGO will pop over 600 a share? I have no idea. Disney, hey. Google at 96.50s. What would you say is your biggest lesson when you try to pass evaluation? I think risk management. I think that I think the easiest way to try to get funded is to have a good risk management system. And like I said, my TOS account's funded already, so it's like I don't really need to get funded. So it's like I'm a little bit slow to get funded because frankly I don't need to trade futures. I could buy the SPY directly, as you guys see me do pretty regularly. But I think if you don't have the money that I have in terms of trading account size, the easiest way to do it is to take these funded account programs. And what you do is you build up a cushion. So you learn to trade small. You build up a cushion of $50, $100, $200, depending on which combine you're in. And then once you have that cushion, that's when you scale up your size. If you don't make money initially with small size, you don't have the right to take larger size because you're going to destroy your account. And so you build up a cushion, maybe it's a couple $100, then you swing larger. If you lose, you're down a couple hundred, you're break even. If you win, then you have big W's on the day. If you lose, you're back to break even and it's not the end of the world. And you can kind of rinse and repeat that system until it sticks and you have big gains, but your losing days are small. That's how you do it. That's the best risk management system you can have. And you can use that with swing trading, day trading, investing, however you want to do it. But having a risk management system like that makes tons of sense. It is something that new traders specifically need to learn to do. The market's not a big gamble for traders. Like you got to learn not to gamble. And that's a hard thing. Chevron increased their quarterly dividend and announced a $75 billion stock repurchase program for Chevron. What's the point of this live stream? So are you just voicing out what you're thinking? You don't actually know what's going on. Yeah, Prince, I have no idea what's going on, bro. What's Tesla, man? I don't even know what Tesla is, dude. Is Tesla a style of cheeseburger or like, what is it exactly? I don't even know. What's this red stuff going on screen, man? Sheesh, dude. Yeah, Prince, I really don't know what I'm doing. I just pressed the button and like, here I am, SPY at 400 right now. Let's see if it actually holds. Tesla just broke under the previous closing price. It's at 144 right now. Just broke under 144. It's at 143.80s right now. So it's holding. You can see that light blue line is the previous closing price. It's the level at which stocks go from red to green, green to red on the day. Tesla just bounced directly off of that. So if Tesla breaks under that light blue line, it'll technically be red on the day. But you can see it actually bounced and held that level. So it's up to 144.50s. We'll see if it actually holds that spot. The red stuff is ketchup. Hey, listen, I love ketchup. Chevron announced $75 billion buyback. Yeah. Increase their dividend to $9 a share, which my opinion, market is muted until after the Tesla car market makers have. Yeah, I don't think we're making any big moves until. I think everybody's going to be sitting here waiting for the earnings call. And we are too, man. We'll see what happens. And again, if you want to check out Top Step, there's the link. You get 20% off. Why aren't you watching Chevron? I made a huge pop because I'm watching Tesla right now, man. But we look at Chevron. Chevron buyback program is going to be some positive things. They also have a raised dividend. And so you can see Chevron rip it up here. Here's the timer to the actual earnings call that we are going to live stream as well. But yes, Chevron started to move. It's at 186s right now, 186s. Now we can look at Chevron. It's all good, brother. It's all good, man. But yeah, Chevron up to 185s. Microsoft just pumped up too to 240.6. Point of this live stream is to keep us updated with what's going on with Tesla and the market. Some of us are still unable to participate. The real-time updates via audio or priceless. Hey, thank you, my guy. I appreciate it. But what's the stock market? I don't even know what the market is, man. What is the market right now? Chevron at 184 is pulling back here. Let's see if 184 whole dollar level. We can get like a little bounce there. That's possible. I'm not saying we will, but we'll see. And there's a little bounce here. Whole dollars, one of the easiest things to understand about trading is that whole dollars are significant. Whole dollars, half dollars, quarter dollars, even if it's a cheap enough stock, can be relevant. And you got to think about, like, psychologically, people are interested in buying at whole dollars, half dollars. So when they place orders for buys and sells, a lot of the time they're going to do it at whole dollars. And when you make that, when you zoom out in a really macro way, what happens is, like, stocks end up bouncing at those half and whole dollars because of that psychology. Tesla under 144s right now. Beginner trading earnings on TradingView are out. Yeah, so I'm going to put this out there. A lot of you guys might be behind on the stream, and it might be good to hit the live button next to the play button here. All right, so again, a lot of you guys might be behind the stream. You want to make sure that this live button right here is actually red. You see how it's red right there? You want to make sure it's red. That means you're live, you're caught up, you're real time. If it's gray or whatever it is, then that means you're delayed on the stream. You want to make sure you're caught back up. A lot of you guys might be behind. Oh, is the call live right now? Let me see. No, the call's not for 52 minutes. The call's not live right now. You know how I can tell is, like, Tesla gives you a timer. So yeah, we still got 50 minutes or so, give or take, until the actual call. It's not live right now. All right, guys. Yeah, we got about 50 minutes or so until the call starts. It's at 5:30. All right, Tesla now technically red on the day here, guys. Technically red on the day. Just broke under the previous closing price. So just broke under the previous close. Again, this light blue line is relevant. We'll see if it actually holds. Hey, thank you, Aaron's. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, here's the live stream for Tesla. It hasn't started yet. Again, it starts in about 50 minutes. We'll stream it. Like I said, we're pretty on top of it. Can you have them move to call up? I need to go get my kid. Bro, listen, I have streamed for hours and hours today. I more than anybody want this call to be moved up, bro. All right, I'm sorry to hear that, Ruben. All right, so again, Tesla pretty neutral here. Again, you can see the previous closing price key. And, you know, when Tesla breaks underneath it like this, then we are red on the day. If it breaks and holds over it like this, then we are technically green on the day. John Madden better watch out, bro. I'm going to take his job over here. But yeah, CVX starting to bounce on their buyback announcement. SPY started still consolidate around $400, so nothing going on yet. Just kind of waiting for the call to start. All right, Tesla just popped back over that previous closing price. Kind of straddling that thing right now. It's just kind of going up and down around it. Again, if you haven't already, hit the sub button. We're pushing so close to 100K, man. We're at about 98K right now. We're pushing so close to it, guys. And so I would never pressure you to, like, subscribe. But if you don't, I'll hate you forever. I'll ban you for life. Okay, do it now. Try it one time. It might feel good. Other people say it feels good. Just hit the subscribe button. Just try it. See if you like it. Everybody's doing it. Try it one time. It's just like the old school Dare commercials in here. SPY at 400. Tesla back at 144s. Don't you think for fourth quarter earnings, it's very low volatility? That's very. I believe it's very low volatility for fourth quarter earnings. To be honest, here, I think it's very low. It's very strange, very neutral. Again, it's something I think you got to take into consideration, though, is how much we pumped up in the last 2 weeks. I think that extension on the upside short term is influencing this, because I think people see these results and they start taking profit. But I think everybody's also going to be hanging on every word Elon says during the actual earnings call. And I think that's important to understand, is that people at this point, it's very strange. Again, I cover all the big earnings reports. Subscribe. But relative to all the other ones, this is very odd in terms of like I guess it kind of makes sense. You got to understand a lot of different factors are taken into consideration to determine how much something moves from earnings, right? It's going to be the difference versus expectations, right? Theoretically, if we get as expected, we're going to get a neutral reaction. And the EPS was only slightly better than expected, and the sales revenue was as expected. So it was within the realm of neutral in terms of EPS and sales revenue. The other stuff they said was positive, but you guys also have to understand that Tesla is going to say positive stuff. They're not going to say negative stuff. They want their stock price to go up. And so when they have these earnings reports, they drop the actual numbers, but of course, then they're going to follow it up with like, yeah, we're really strong. We plan on doing all this stuff. That's a normal thing. Again, though, people are going to kind of sit here and wait for the actual report to come out and for the actual conference call to start. Generally, with earnings reports, you get more volatility from the actual report itself. But maybe this is one of those outliers here where they end up moving. Make a prediction? I have no idea what's going to happen. I think that's the worst part of the stock market, is that everybody's giving out all these predictions and nobody really knows, and that ends up just getting traders hurt. I'm not even claiming to be a good trader. I don't do any, I'm not claiming to be good or anything like that. We're just kind of free. We don't charge for anything. We don't sell a course. We don't act like experts. We just cover data fast. And that's why, thousands of people tune into our streams, the big ones at least. Hey, thank you, Steve. I appreciate you, man. Plug had earnings. What's Bitcoin doing, man? I hear a lot of people talking about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin did pump up, man. At 23.5K. Man, wow. That's big. eBay, man. I don't have cable. You're my only source of entertainment. Oh, man, Grum. That's a lot of pressure, bro. Listen. Yeah, it's all good, Prince. I'm just messing with you, man. All right, so yeah, Tesla's very neutral right now. SPY tried to bounce at 400, but not really doing anything here. So we'll see. Give it a time here, guys. Give it a time. But the earnings call starts in about 45 minutes. Again, we are going to stream it. Beating expected is a bad thing because that would mean the Fed could, not necessarily. That's not why it's going to do this. I mean, inflation's bad, but it's not bad to the point where a company can do better than expected in terms of revenue and drop like that. Like, not, at least not consistently. That's not what we're going to get, in my opinion. We maybe, I mean, I don't know. We maybe get that, but I think it's mostly neutral because the actual metrics of the report were neutral. EPS was pretty neutral, slight beat. Sales revenue was pure neutral. It was as expected here. They didn't drop any guidance numbers. They did put out some comments regarding their plans for the future, but again, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I have to work. All right, so Tesla just rejected 144s down to 143.30s here, guys. 143.30s. It's trying. IBM flushing. Yeah, IBM had a beat, I think, right? So maybe IBM's dragging stuff down, but IBM did a little bit better than expected, right? Yeah, IBM 360 versus 360. Yeah, IBM was neutral too. Yeah, I bet you are, Mads. It's all good, man. Happy earnings season. What's up, the way of base? I thought you were dissected. Well, we already dissected the report. We already covered it. I'm not really making any predictions, though, because, again, I just don't know. We cover all the big stuff. So, I mean, we dissected the report. We talked about it. Again, it was a slight miss. Or it was a slight beat. They did better than expected sales, better than expected EPS, neutral sales revenue, no guidance. So that's basically all we got. And we got a neutral reaction. Now, again, a lot of people are going to be waiting on the call. We'll see if we get something good from the call itself. I think Elon's going to be speaking on it, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it's definitely better neutral than negative right now. All right, so again, we're testing that previous closing price. IBM just broke under lows here. It's at 138. So IBM just broke under lows. All right, Tesla back over green, technically green on the day now. So Tesla is now technically green on the day. Now it's over the previous closing price. It's over 144. Tesla closed right at 144.50. No, let me see. It closed right at, I guess, 144.50. So technically green on the day now. All right, so big rips back up at 145 right now for Tesla. 145. Huge bounce back at 145.20s here. IBM bouncing back some even from this as well. So again, let's see if we hold, but it's starting to move. All right, over 145 now, pulling back to 145 as we speak. So again, let's see if we hold 145. You see the level we drew here right at 145. All right, can you make it full screen on Tesla? Yeah, we can do that. All right, so that's the Tesla chart right there. All right, so pulled back all the way to 145s. So again, didn't really hold, rejected there pretty fast. Microsoft's looking good. So Microsoft is trying to bounce back some with Tesla as well, back up to 145s. Hey, what's up, Bulldog? Yeah, man, for sure. So this is Tesla right here. We'll see if it bounces back. Again, I guess everybody's waiting for the earnings call, I guess. All right, so back over 145s. Back over 145s. Hey, fresh new sub here, Dove. Straight down at the earnings call. Thought the numbers were a hit beat. How do you see the chances of it happening today? I really don't know, man. I hope it's positive. I hope we get good data. I hope we get good numbers. But again, I really don't know. Or I hope we get good responses to the earnings call, but I really don't know. I mean, the numbers weren't bad. They definitely weren't bad. I mean, they were somewhat neutral, but mostly somewhat positive as well. I mean, again, EPS was good. Sales revenue neutral. EPS was good, and then they said some positive things. So it was mostly good. And now they're just ripping back up. They're at 145.50s here, so they're slowly starting to come back. You can see when the numbers came out. The numbers dropped right around here. So the numbers came out. We're now green relative to when the numbers did come out. So we're now green from that spot, from when the numbers actually dropped. So whether we're going to continue up, we're right at 145.50s. I'm not sure, but it looks strong. I mean, this last couple seconds or a couple minutes looks good. Yeah, Las Vegas Sam's put out their numbers too. The release is already out, D. The release is already out. The actual earnings call is what we're waiting for now. The earnings call is at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, we're at 145.50. All right, we're up for 145.60s. Making a move towards 146. Why is IBM? IBM was mostly neutral. They came in as expected for EPS. A little bit better than sales revenue, I think. Maybe I got that backwards. So IBM, IBM came in at 360 for EPS, a little bit better in sales revenue. Sands came in much worse than expected. So Las Vegas Sands came in noticeably worse than expected here, at 22-cent loss per share versus 9-cent loss per share estimates, 1.12 billion versus 1.18 billion estimates. So Las Vegas Sands hospitality did much worse than expected. Tesla ripping back up over 146, testing 146.50s right now. So up to 146.50s. The actual conference call is going to be, in a couple minutes, not in about 30 minutes. We're up to 146.30s, 146.20s. Testing 146.50 here. Let's see if we can break that level here. That might be a little pullback spot, but yeah, we're up to 146.50s now. Doge pumping, yeah, that makes sense. Doge pumping does kind of make sense, I guess. All right, up to almost 147s right now. Up to almost 147s. So we are starting to get some bounce backs here. Getting ready to tap 147 if we keep up here. There's 147 just tapped. We just popped at 147s. IBM at the top of the swing is to pull back. Maybe, man. At 147.50s here, guys. 147.50s. Man, Tesla is reeling back here, just flowing back right now. Up to almost 148s. I reckon this conference call will make a real move, maybe. Why on earth did the market go up today? Because, frankly, nobody knows what the market's going to do. Again, to put this into perspective, man, I have a very unique perspective here. I have a unique look at bias and sentiment of traders. The reality of it is you got a lot of people telling everybody that the stock market's going to crash and all this crazy stuff. But nobody knows for sure. You know, a lot of the bears will like insult long traders who think the market might continue going up. And I'm here to tell you that nobody knows what the market is going to do. Nobody does. Nobody knows what the market's going to do. Nobody knows if it's going to go up, down, or sideways. We can only guess and speculate on it. And again, everybody wants to be Michael Burry, but very rarely are people actually right about crashes. Crashes are very difficult to predict. Now, I'm not saying we don't drop more, and it's definitely possible we do. But we've had a lot of green action over the last 3 or 4 months, and if I was going to listen to the bears, I would have lost so much money, you know. So again, crashes are not easy to predict. I think you got a lot of influencers now that are pushing that narrative where, oh, we're going to hit zero, market's going to crash, and they've been saying it for years. And so even if they are right, they're still pretty low in terms of accuracy. So. Hey, what's up, Rob? I know what's going to happen. Hey, good luck, man. Maybe. Bitcoin is ripping. Yeah, Bitcoin is flying up, and I'm happy to see it. I really am. I'm glad to see that. Crashes are predictable at the top. Yeah, but we're not really at the top. In fact, we're actually down big on the year on almost everything. So most large blue chips are down on the year. And that's my point, is that it's like, yeah, you know, everybody thinks the market's going to crash. Very rarely are they actually right. The market, in my opinion, is actually a little bit extended on the downside at this point in time because we've been down over the last year straight. And I'm not saying it's going to continue down, but, you know, it's certainly arguable that we're not at the top. We got more likes than that, Kay. You probably joined the stream late. We got about 290 likes right now, so pretty solid. I'm happy for you. I mean, y'all hit the like button. All right, guys, as we approach, we are getting closer to the actual earnings call. We got about 30 minutes left, really a little bit less than 30. Yeah, it's all good, man. Tesla entering a new $5 billion. I got the hiccups, man. Please, someone inform me on why the market went up today. Sure. So the real reason the market went up today is because stocks went higher, and you know there were more buyers than sellers today. Basically, is what happened. Some people might want to argue other reasons, but there were more buyers than sellers today. All right, pull back on Tesla. Got almost up to 148s here. Almost up to 148s. All right, guys. Big pullback under 147s for Tesla now. Big pullback under 147s. Yeah, market went up. We had more buyers than sellers. Hey, that's it. All right, we're at 146.40s here. All right, big pullback at 146 for Tesla. 146 is for Tesla here. So we'll see if we hold out support level. We drew it earlier. We'll see if it actually holds. All right, 146s. Yeah, but again, anytime, like, I understand the bear argument for stuff. I really do. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, well, we're down extended on the last year. Again, if we look at if we look at the SPY right now, right? If you look at the SPY, this is the last year. So the market's down over the last year, right? We are down on the last year. And bear markets aren't going to continue forever. And I'm not saying we're going to bounce. I really don't know. But I understand why we might. Because rate hikes are getting lesser and lesser as time goes on. Inflation numbers, PPI, CPI reports have gotten a little bit better. And so prices are going down. Optimism is getting higher. We've kind of reversed from inflation fears to recessionary fears in terms of like reactions to economic and market data. There's a lot of reasons and arguments for the market potentially going higher and looking better. Of course, there's just as many, if not more, arguments for the downside. But in the end, nobody knows for sure. And so acting like you know 100% what's going to happen is just shows me that you don't really understand the stock market. And they might say the same thing about me, and that's fine. But, you know, I think overall you got to just understand nobody knows. It's all a guessing game based off of probabilities, and that's all we can do is guess. And we'll see. If you were to buy the dip, you're red? Maybe. Yeah, all good, Brian, man. I appreciate it. Ask Jack, do you ever trade Forex? No, not really. I'm just not much of a Forex trade. I trade futures, stocks, sometimes crypto. It's not a big Forex trader personally. All right, but look, we did bounce at Tesla right at that 146 spot we talked about. So you see, we drew the support level right here. We drew it right here at 145.85 or so, and that's basically where we bounced. Maybe we went a little bit lower, but roughly the same spot.
Time to work.
All right, we're at 146s now for Tesla here. You got the timer. We still got about 25 minutes before the actual data comes out. And we're just kind of sitting tight waiting for it. Tesla creating a bull flag and a hidden channel. Maybe. This is neutral activity so far in in after hours for me. It's mostly neutral. Like, we could argue good, bad, up, down, but it looks neutral to me. Now we're right around 146s. So we'll see if we move. You never know what the market will do, but there's a lot of repeating trends in history, like the Santa rally, for instance. When you're wondering what is happening, do some historical research. 100%. But I mean, I guess the thing to understand with that in mind is that when you look back at all the bear markets in history, they don't last very long at all. So historically, bear markets don't last very long. We've been in a downtrend for over a year now. Inflation is starting to drop. And optimism is starting to get higher, as well as like we're switching from recession or from inflationary fears to recessionary fears, right? And generally, when that happens, the market rebounds some. Maybe not, but I think there's a lot of arguments on both sides, which is why I always say I don't know, because again, I genuinely don't know. I like the Cybertruck too. I think the Cybertruck's cool. Tesla at 146s. So it did hold there. All right, guys. So we got about 20 minutes left. 20 minutes before the actual numbers come out, or before the actual earnings call comes out. I'm sorry. About 20 minutes. Tesla consolidating right at 146. So I think that's an interesting hold dollar that we can watch to see. Bitcoin, yeah, Bitcoin has been pumping up, to be honest here, man. Bitcoin, wow, it's even more, man. Bitcoin is getting ready to test 24K. That's great. That's great news for Bitcoin. I genuinely want Bitcoin to shoot up, man. I want it to keep going. Look at Bitcoin right now, guys. Here's Bitcoin. Wow, 23.8K. So Bitcoin probably had the best reaction to all this stuff. Good. All right, under 146s for a split second. We'll see if this actually holds. %100 iron. And I mean, that's why I do it, brother. Everybody's trying to act like they know exactly what's going to happen. They tell traders. A lot of them are new, naive traders who just kind of blindly follow them, and then they lose a bunch of money, and then they get upset about it. The AMC YouTubers told everybody that AMC was going to hit 1,000 and they were going to get rich, and they weren't selling to 100K, and now they're just kind of talking about CPI and stuff like I do. Just saying, hey, let's not bring up AMC. Like, let's cover the rate hike decisions now and CPI. Just don't remember what I said about AMC. You see that a lot. I've been saying this the whole time, which is that I have no idea what we're going to get, no idea what's going to happen. And I'd rather be real with people and sleep good at night than mislead people and cause people to lose lots of money. Hey, what's up, Andres? Bitcoin finally moving up. Yeah, Bitcoin pumped up. It's at 23.5K right now. So I hope it continues, man. All right, we're dipping down under 146. We're at 145s now. It's almost time, guys. Almost time here. Big pullbacks in Tesla. Again, very neutral price action in after hours today after these earnings. We went up on this, down, chopped around. Now we're coming all the way back down. So if you draw a rectangle around it, look at that rectangle, man. Top 3 drawing. I got the best drawing skills in the world right now, guys. I'm not saying I'm like terrible, but like, I'm not saying I'm the best ever, but I'm definitely top 3 drawers. But yeah, so we're under 145s. Again, 145 might hold. We'll see. 145 is a relevant level that we can watch. I'm watching it for sure. Whatever happened to that guy that was all over. A lot of them made a bunch of money and now they don't talk about AMC anymore. They're like, yeah, AMC's gonna hit 1,000. Oh, let's cover the CPI reports and rate hike decisions. You know, we're not AMC YouTubers. It's one of the reasons you should never dedicate your whole channel around one specific stock. You know, especially, you know. But yeah, guys, we got about 20 minutes, a little bit less than that. All right, under 145s now, guys. Just broke under 145s. Fact check. My lucky guess says 147. Hey, thank you, Marty. Hey, thank you, Hayden. Top 3 drawers ever, for sure. Yeah, I don't mention names, you know. I'm not about all that stuff. I don't want the drama, man. Like I said, I mean, I told people what would happen. Hey, good, man. I hope the market keeps it up. I want Bitcoin to do well, man. I really do. Like, I don't want Bitcoin to not do well. At 145s right now. All right, so we're just under 145s. Let's see if that acts as a resistance level now. It might. Again, the actual earnings call starting very soon here. We'll put this screen up so you guys can see the wait. 15 minutes. All right, guys. How much do you think this is going to positively or negatively influence Tesla? You think it's going to go up or down? Bullish or bearish, I guess is what we say for this. Bullish or bearish? What do you guys think? We're back over 145s right now. Back over 145s. Tesla going to pull another Microsoft where it holds and drops during the call. What are your thoughts? I really don't know, man. Again, it's too hard to figure out what these companies are about to say. You know, so it's too hard to figure out what they're going to say. All right, we're back over 145s. Back over 145s. So let's see if we hold. Neutral. Yeah, I don't really have any big prediction or anything like that on this either. You know, I don't really have any big huge prediction for this. I just don't know. I don't know what we're gonna get. I hope it's positive because generally, I want to see sympathy movement. All right, we're at 145.10, guys. 145.10. Tesla ain't good. Yeah, good is subjective. I've used this analogy once and I'll use it again. I love chocolate cake, but other people might be like, "Ugh, chocolate cake's gross." You know what I mean? Hey, thank you, Angela. I trade with chart, not hard. It's all love. Hey, me too, man. Like I said. All right, Tesla back up to 145.50s here. 145.50s. Starting to move up. "13 minutes. All right, we tapped 146s. Market structure, whatever one is saying something, do the opposite. Yeah, I mean, I could see how you might want to do that. Again, everybody's been yelling at me to sell, and the market is ripped up. And so it's very simple. It's very true. Emotion is kind of what drives traders, and usually if people are really extended in short positions, they'll insult everybody else going long, and so forth and so on. It's just kind of the nature of the market, to be honest. um all right, 10 minutes up to almost 146s. All right, guys, up to 146s. Rivian looking cheap. John, you're replacing C-SPAN for me? Hey, good, man. Happy for that. Because don't nobody want to watch C-SPAN, man. You know? All right, we're up to 146s here, guys. 146s. 10 minutes. So we bounced all the way back up to 146s here. All right, we're up to almost 146s. All right, guys, testing 146s. This song kind of hurt. Bro, you don't like the song, man? Come on now. Don't hate. I'm definitely not playing poker on the other one, waiting for, you know, the Tesla earnings call to start. I'm definitely not doing that right now, okay? I would never do that right now. All right, guys, Tesla just under 146s. Elon calling me. Hey, he needs to be calling me, man. I'll tell him how to fix his company up. Jeez, dude. All right, guys, we got 6 minutes, team. 6 minutes. Hit the sub button. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Chess. All right, we're bouncing at 145s here, guys. We got about 6 minutes left before the actual earnings call starts. We're standing by, waiting for the actual earnings call to start. Just to review everything that happened here in Tesla here, review everything that happened. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So Tesla said that they have sufficient liquidity. Tesla said that they had sufficient liquidity to fund the product roadmap, long-term capacity expansion plans, and other expenses. They said that over time, they expect hardware-related products to be accompanied with acceleration of software-related profits. So basically that their software game is going to get a little bit better. They said that they continue to believe that operating margin will remain highest among volume OEMs. They said that fourth quarter total production is up to 439.7K, up 44% year over year. They reported fourth quarter total deliveries of 405.278 thousand. They said the Cybertruck remains on track to begin production later this year at the Gigafactory, and they got a new thing under development as well. Hold on one second, guys. All right, guys. So basically, that's kind of what's going down right now at Tesla. We got 4 minutes. They said that for 23, they expect to remain ahead of its long-term 50% CAGR with around 1.8 million cars for the year. And yeah, that's basically what happened. They said that the Cybertruck remains on track to begin production. I think I already said that already. All right, guys, we got 4 minutes. 4 minutes. We got about 1,000 people here, give or take. About a K. And again, let me know what you guys think before the earnings call starts if you haven't already. All right, here we go. Is it ready? Let's see. Okay, they got the man. If you listen to the hold music on the Tesla earnings call right now, it feels like you just walked into an Abercrombie and Fitch in 2005. Right now, that's the earnings call. The smell of cologne is in the air. That's the earnings call right now. We're waiting on hold, guys. Just patiently waiting here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the music off while we sit here and wait. Um, so bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Y'all can hear the music though, right? Just to make sure y'all can actually hear the music, right? Just want to be safe. Make sure you can actually hear it. But again, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep is a funded account program for futures. And so if you want to trade this big stuff here, if you look at the E-mini on this right side, it's the same price action as the SPY. And it looks a lot like Tesla here today too. And you can day trade it with no PDT restriction in futures. You could short it with no PDT restriction. And TopStep funds traders. They give them a demo. If you can hit the target on their demo while following their rules, they fund you between $50,000 to $150,000 with a 90% split once you're funded. Regardless of whether you get funded or not, a lot of people are not going to be able to get funded. I'm definitely biased in their favor because they're a sponsor of mine. But regardless of whether you get funded or not, it builds you into a better trader. The base package is less than $140 if you use my link, and so it's cheap as well. And there's just a lot of reasons to use them. And build you into a better trader. Learning to follow rules is important. You can find the link to that in the description. Get 20% off. There's the link. Again, we are patiently waiting for the actual earnings call to start. We got it up. Yeah, they got a bunch of techno playing in the background, so we're still sitting here waiting. Yeah, we got GDP tomorrow, jobless claims numbers. We got GDP. I think we got a lot of stuff dropping tomorrow, man. We got a lot of stuff dropping tomorrow. Again, guys, we got basically 2 minutes before this thing starts, give or take about 2 minutes. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff dropping. If you want me to review it here, just to talk about some of the stuff we have going on tomorrow, it's a lot. So tomorrow we have, just to read all this stuff here real quick. Tomorrow we have Chicago Fed National Activity Index. We got core durable good orders dropping. Core PCE prices for the fourth quarter. GDP for the fourth quarter. GDP sales. Initial jobless claims. So we got jobless claims numbers coming out tomorrow as well. Real consumer spending, retail inventories, wholesale inventories, new home sales, all dropping tomorrow morning to be exact here. So a lot of different stuff's coming out tomorrow. Will be very interesting to see what happens in the market. Tesla's starting to bounce back up. It's at 146, so it just broke over 146. Been on a little bit of a bull run over the last 15 minutes or so. So Tesla's starting to come back here, guys. And yeah, we'll see if we get some more bull action here. Tesla's starting to rip. Again, let me know what you guys think. We did a Twitter poll. Let's take a look at our Twitter results on this poll. We did a poll on Twitter. We got 65 votes. 54% were saying calls. 46% were saying puts. So most people saying calls, but pretty split down the middle there. And yeah, we'll see if they say something good. Overall, Tesla had pretty neutral results. I mean, their sales revenue was, I think they came in as expected here. So let me see. So Tesla sales revenue was 24.16 billion. So I think it was pretty neutral. I think everything was pretty neutral. So sales revenue was neutral, on par with what's expected. And EPS was slightly better than expected at 119 versus 113 estimates. So just slightly better than expected here. And again, they're about to start basically right now. So let's listen. Again, we are live waiting here. Nothing out yet. Patiently waiting for the rest of the numbers to come out. All right, there we go. Again, there's 430. Once I do this, we're going to have to do a sound check. So again, Tesla at 146 is here. We got the E-mini on the right. Get ready, and I'll let you guys know when it starts. My portfolio is definitely not dead. All right, waiting here, guys. Waiting. It should be starting anytime now. Again, subscribe if you haven't checked out Top Step. I don't know if I posted the link. Okay, I did. Let's see. Again, patiently waiting here, guys. Not started yet. A little bit late on their starting. I know I'm live too. I'm completely live right now. So once we go live here, guys, once we go live, I'm going to do a sound check. Yeah, we have a Twitter at Beginner Trades. Here's our Twitter link right there if you want to check it out. Hey, thank you. Yeah, y'all give me a follow on Twitter. We appreciate it. Again, my big thing is everything we do here is completely free. We don't charge for anything, claim to be an expert, act like a guru. We have sponsors and stuff, of course, but like we even tell people that we're biased, to be honest. So hey, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Waiting for the earnings call to start now, guys. So still hadn't started yet. Again, we got it up live. We are now waiting for everything to start, and we're just not getting any start here from them. So patiently waiting. Should be starting any time now, but it hasn't started yet. I think they're about to start. There they go. They're live.
2022 Q&A.
All right, sound check. Sound check.
My name is Martin Vieca, VP of Investor Relations, and I'm joined today by
How's the sound, guys?
Zachary Kirkhorn, and a number of other executives. Our Q4 results were announced at about 3 p.m. Central Time in the update deck we published at the same link as this webcast. During this call, we will discuss our business outlook and make forward-looking statements. These comments are based on our predictions and expectations as of today. Actual events or results could differ.
That should be a lot better. Let me know if that's
better. A number of risks and uncertainties, including those mentioned in our most recent filings with the SEC. During the question and answer portion of today's call, please limit yourself to one question and one follow-up. Please use the raise hand button to join the question queue. But before we jump into Q&A, Elon?
Thank you, Martin. So just going through a 22 recap. It was a fantastic year for Tesla. It was our best year ever on every level. Team did an amazing job. It's an honor, of course, to work with such an incredibly talented group of people. So in 2022, we delivered over 1.3 million cars and achieved a 17% operating margin, the highest among any volume car maker. I think maybe among any car maker. While doing so, we generated $12.5 billion in net income and $7.5 billion in free cash flow. Importantly, the Tesla team achieved these records despite the fact that 2022 was an incredibly challenging year due to forced shutdowns, very high interest rates, and many delivery challenges. So it's worth noting that all these records were in the face of massive difficulties. A credit to the team for achieving that. The most common question we've been getting from investors is about demand. Thus far, so I want to put that concern to rest. Thus far in January, we've seen the strongest orders year to date than ever in our history. We currently are seeing orders at almost twice the rate of production. So I mean that's hard to say whether that will continue at twice the rate of production, but the orders are high, and we've actually raised the Model Y price a little bit in response to that. So we think demand will be good despite probably a contraction in the automotive market as a whole. Basically, price really matters. I think there's just a vast number of people that want to buy a Tesla car, but can't afford it, and so these price changes really make a difference for the average consumer. It's it's sometimes, for people who are have a lot of money, they sort of forget about how important affordability is. And it's always been our goal at Tesla to make cars that are affordable to as many people as possible. So I'm glad that we're able to do so. Yeah, so I think it's a good thing, all things considered. We're also making very good progress on cost control, and we're seeing the costs of production in Berlin and Austin drop commensurate with the growth in production, so as you'd expect. So, yeah. With respect to Autopilot, as of now, we deployed full self-driving beta for city streets to roughly 400,000 customers in North America. This is a huge milestone for autonomy, as FSD beta is the only way any consumer can actually test the latest AI-powered autonomy. And we're currently at about 100 million miles of FSD outside of highways. And our published data shows that improvement in safety statistics is very clear. We would not have released the FSD beta if the safety statistics were not excellent. Regarding batteries, production rate of 4680 cells reached 1,000 cars a week at the end of last year, and we're increasing capacity for 4680 cells by another 100 gigawatt hours, as announced at Giga Nevada yesterday. Our long-term goal is to get to well in excess of 1,000 gigawatt hours of cells produced internally, and continue to use other cell providers. So to be clear, we will continue to use other cell providers, just that the demand for lithium-ion batteries is quasi-infinite, and will be for quite some time. So we feel we can scale a lot faster using both suppliers and internally produced cells. And we've got an amazing plan for making the 4680 cell low cost and high energy density. So energy storage also saw record growth, and that is continuing to accelerate. That's always worth remembering that the three pillars of a sustainable energy future are obviously electric vehicles, solar and wind, and then the third key item is stationary storage, to store the energy from solar and wind, because obviously the sun doesn't shine all the time and the wind doesn't blow all the time. So if you have those three things, you can convert all of Earth to a fully sustainable situation, many times over, actually. So I would like to just make it clear that there is a path to a fully sustainable future for humanity, and our goal at Tesla is to accelerate progress on that path as much as humanly possible. So so we're obviously ramping up Megapack production, and we expect it to grow at a rate quite a bit faster than our vehicle output. So in conclusion, we're taking a view that we want to keep making and selling as many cars as we can. We believe we can keep pushing for strong volume growth while retaining the industry's best operating margins. As we mentioned many times before, we want to be the best manufacturer. But really, manufacturing technology will be our most important long-term strength. So, and we'll talk more about our upcoming plans at the March 1st Investor Day. And lastly, I want to once again thank all of our employees for delivering another record-breaking year. Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, Elon. And I think Zach has some opening remarks as well.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. So as Elon mentioned, 2022 was a terrific year for Tesla. I also want to congratulate the Tesla team and also say a thank you to our suppliers for your support during quite a volatile year. On a full year basis, revenue increased over 50%, operating income doubled, free cash flows increased over 50%, and our margins remained industry leading. Additionally, we continue to make progress on overhead efficiencies as non-GAAP OpEx as a percentage of revenue improved further. For Q4 specifically, sequential and annual margin was impacted by ASP reductions as we were managing through COVID impacts in China, uncertainty around the consumer tax credit in the US, and a rising interest rate environment. Note that in 2022, rising interest rates alone had effectively increased the price of our cars in the US by nearly 10%. Additionally, COGS per unit has increased on a year-over-year basis, driven primarily by three factors. First is raw materials and inflation led by lithium prices and discussed at length in previous calls. Second, we are working through the early ramp of inefficiencies of our Austin and Berlin and in-house cell production factories. Third, our vehicle mix over the last year has moved more heavily towards Model Y, which carries a slight cost premium to Model 3. Partially offsetting these impacts, we've continued to execute on Tesla controllable cost reductions in line with the progress we've made in prior years. These improvements include our continued work to gradually move towards a regionally balanced build of vehicles. The energy business had its strongest year yet across all metrics, led by steady improvement in both retail and commercial storage. While much work remains to grow this business and improve cost, we believe we are on a good trajectory. As we look towards 2023, we're moving forward aggressively, leveraging our strength and cost. There are three key points I wanted to make here. First, on demand, as Elon mentioned, customer interest in our products remains high. Second, on cost reduction, we're holding steady on our plans to rapidly increase volume while improving overhead efficiency, which is the most effective method to retain strength in our operating margins. In particular, we're accelerating improvements in our new factories in Austin, Berlin, and in-house cells where inefficiencies are the highest. But we are attacking every other area of cost and unwinding cost increases created from multiple years of COVID-related instability. This includes logistics, expedites, accumulation of material buffers, part premiums, productivity, and overheads as an example. As the world transitions from an inflationary to deflationary environment, we expect a strong partnership with our suppliers on this journey as well. In net, we've priced our products with a view towards a longer-term cost structure. Thus, there will be an impact on operating margin in the near term. However, we believe our margins will remain healthy and industry-leading over the course of the year. Third, we are continuing to ensure funding is prioritized for our long-term roadmap. This includes expanding in-house cell production, bringing Cybertruck to market, development of our next-generation vehicle platform, expansion of our manufacturing footprint, and growth of the energy business. We're looking forward to discussing these plans in more detail on our Investor Day in a month. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zach. Let's now go to investor questions. The first question is, some analysts are claiming that Tesla orders net of cancellations came in at a rate less than half of production in the fourth quarter. This has raised demand concerns. Can you elaborate on order trends so far this year and how they compare to current production rates? I think
we've already answered that question.
Yes, exactly.
The demand far exceeds production. And we actually are making some small price increases as a result.
Thank you. The second question is in similar vein. What is the initial reaction been to global price reductions in early 1Q 2023, specifically in terms of order intake levels? We've answered that one as well.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next one. The next investor question is, will Tesla be able to take full advantage of advanced manufacturing production credits for battery cells packs? So $3,700 per long-range Model 3 and Model Y. It's $45 a kilowatt hour. For autos and energy products, and how much does Tesla expect to earn in the coming year from these credits?
I'll say a little bit about it, then I think Zach will add some. Long term, we expect these the value of these credits to be very significant. You can do the math. If we were to get anywhere near 1,000 gigawatt hours a year of production, or even a few hundred gigawatt hours, it's very significant. So, but the credits do rely upon domestic manufacturing. And in the case of Panasonic with domestic manufacturing, we're splitting the value of the credits. So the value of the credits this year will not be gigantic, but I think it could be gigantic in the future. We think it probably will be very significant in the future.
Yeah, just to add and put some boundaries on what we're expecting in terms of impact to Tesla for this year. So different products we think will get different amounts of credit. The regulations here are still in flux and there continues to be updates. So this is just our best understanding at the moment. But we think on the order of 150 million to 250 million per quarter this year, and growing over the course of the year as our volumes grow. And part of the work we're doing here, which is part of what this incentive package is trying to incentivize, is, as Elon mentioned, to move more manufacturing onshore in the United States, which is Tesla's plans anyways. And so I think we're pretty well positioned over the coming years to take advantage of this. But then also, part of what the goal of this incentive package is to improve adoption from our customers. And so we also want to use these incentives to improve affordability as we think about what the price points are on our products going forward. And so as we were thinking about our pricing changes in the US a couple of weeks ago that we announced, we were looking at what the credit benefit to Tesla would be to make sure that customers are able to receive the benefit not only from this that we're receiving to some extent, but also on the consumer-facing side, which is currently $7,500 per car of tax credit, assuming that subject to the MSRP caps and the income caps. So we want to use this to accelerate sustainable energy, which is our mission and also the goal of this bill.
Thank you very much. The next question from investors is, after recent price cuts, analysts release expectations that Tesla automotive gross margin excluding leasing and credits will drop below 20%, and average selling price around 47,000 across all models. Where do you see average selling price and gross margins after the price cuts?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll jump in on this. So, there's certainly a lot of uncertainty about how the year will unfold, but I'll share what's in our current forecast for the moment. So, based upon these metrics here, we believe that we'll be above, both of the metrics that are stated in the question. So 20% automotive gross margin, excluding leases and red credits, and then 47K ASP across all models. And so, two other comments I want to make on this, just tactically on sequential ASP changes from Q4 to Q1. Just as a reminder, the ASP reduction is not as large as the reduction in configurator prices. As in Q4, we had backlog customers that we're delivering cars to at a lower price book, given that backlogs had been so long for so much of 2022. But then also there are various programs in place that we used in Q4 that lowered ASPs. The second comment I wanted to make here is that, as a management team here, we're most focused on what our operating margin is. And so, as other areas of the business become more important, particularly the energy business, which is growing faster than the vehicle business, and as we're heavily focused on operating leverage here, improving efficiency of our overheads, we think the right metric for us to be focused on is operating margin. And so I wanted to make sure that I shared that with the investor community as well, because that is what we're primarily managing to now.
Yes, something that I think some of the smart retail investors understand, but I think a lot of others maybe don't, is that every time we sell a car, it has the ability just from uploading software to have full self-driving enabled, and the full self-driving is obviously getting better very rapidly. That's actually a tremendous upside potential, because all of those cars, with a few exceptions, I mean, only a small percentage of cars don't have hardware 3. So that means that there's millions of cars where full self-driving can be sold at essentially 100% gross margin. And the value of it, of FSD grows as the autonomous capability grows, and then when it becomes fully autonomous, that is a value increase in the fleet. That might be the biggest asset value increase of anything in history. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's go to the next investor question. Since Elon started political influencing, polls from Morning Consult and YouGov show Tesla brand
YouGov. You trust them with your life.
Show Tesla brand favorability declining in 2022 and division among partisan lines. Such brand damage can impact demand. Does Tesla track favorability, and how will any brand damage be mitigated?
Well, let me check my Twitter account. Okay, so I've got 127 million followers. It continues to grow very rapidly. That suggests that I'm, reasonably popular. Might not be popular with some people, but for the vast majority of people, my follow count speaks for itself. I'm the most interactive account, social media account, I think, maybe in the world, certainly on Twitter. And that's actually predated the Twitter acquisition. So I think Twitter is actually an incredibly powerful tool for driving demand for Tesla. And I would really encourage companies out there of all kinds, automotive or otherwise, to make more use of Twitter, and to use their Twitter accounts in ways that are interesting and informative, entertaining, and it will help them drive sales, just as it has with Tesla. So the net value of Twitter, apart from a few people are complaining, is gigantic, obviously.
Thank you. Let's go to the next question. Please provide a detailed explanation of where you are on the 4680 ramp. What are the current roadblocks, and when do you expect to scale to 10,000 vehicles a week?
Yeah, thanks, Martin. First, I just want to say congrats and thanks to the Tesla 4680 team for achieving 1K a week in Q4. It was no small feat. Definitely a result of, more than a couple of years of hard work. As far as where we stand in Texas, 1 of 4 lines are in production, with the remaining 3 in stages of commissioning and install. Really, our 2023 goal as a 4680 team is to deliver a cost-effective ramp of 4680s well ahead of Cybertruck. Focus areas are dialing in and improving the quality of the high-volume supply of mechanical parts and driving factory process yields up as much as possible. Between the 2 of those things, if we achieve those key goals, we'll be well set up for a major 4680 year in 2024.
Thank you. Next investor question is, Elon said previously that FSD Hardware 4 will most likely come first in Cybertruck. Is that still the current plan? Do you expect there to be an upgrade path for Hardware 3 cars to Hardware 4?
Yeah, Cybertruck will have Hardware 4, and typically, for 2023, Cybertruck will not be, a significant contributor to the bottom line, but it will be in next year. So it's an incredible product. I can't wait to drive it personally. It will be the car that I drive every day. Actually, I'm wearing the T-shirt with the smashed glass. It's just one of those products that only comes along once in a while, and it's really special. So, yeah. So, with respect to upgrading cars that have Hardware 3, I don't think that will be needed. Hardware 3 will not be as good as Hardware 4, but I'm confident that Hardware 3 will still far exceed the safety of the average human. So what we're aiming for is how do we get ultimately to, let's say for argument's sake, if Hardware 3 can be, say, 200 or 300% safer than human, Hardware 4 might be, 500 or 600%. There will be a Hardware 5 beyond that. But what really matters is are we improving the average safety on the road? But it is the cost and difficulty of retrofitting hardware 3 with hardware 4 is quite significant. So it would not be, I think, economically feasible to do so.
Thank you. The next question is for Zach. Zach, when do you think Tesla Insurance will become big enough revenue source to warrant providing more details in the financials of the business so investors can compare it to other insurance companies?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to take some time before this business is large enough for specific financial disclosures. But I'm happy to provide an update on where we stand in the business. So we're currently at a $300 million annual premium run rate as of the end of last year. We're growing 20% a quarter, so it's growing faster than the growth in our vehicle business. And in the states in which we're operating, on average, 17% of the customers in those states are using a Tesla Insurance product. So, and that number continues to tick up as we spend more time in markets. And we see most of the adoption occurring when folks take delivery of a new car, as they're setting up insurance for the first time, as opposed to going back and switching when they already have insurance set up. So there's an inherent stickiness in the insurance business. But
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just as a broader reminder on kind of the motivation for starting this business, it was to improve, and still is, to improve the total cost of ownership of our cars, given that we're seeing high premiums of insurance from third-party companies. And that remains our priority here. We'll obviously run this as a healthy business, but we want to make sure we keep our costs low and insurance stays affordable to our customers.
Yeah, and so there are two really important side benefits for Tesla Insurance that are worth mentioning, one of which Zach alluded to, which is that just by Tesla offering insurance for our cars at a competitive rate, that makes the other car insurance companies offer better rates for Teslas. So it has a bigger effect than you'd think, because it improves total cost of ownership or insurance costs even when they don't use Tesla Insurance, because now the Geicos of the world have to compete with Tesla and cannot charge outrageous insurance for Teslas. So it's great. So it has an amplified effect, very important. Then it is also giving us a good feedback loop into minimizing the cost of repair of Teslas for all Teslas worldwide. Because we obviously want to minimize the cost of repairing a Tesla if it's in a collision, and for Tesla Insurance. And previously, we didn't actually have good insight into that, because the other insurance companies would cover the cost. And actually, the costs in some cases were unreasonably high. So we've actually adjusted the design of the car and made changes in the software of the car to minimize the cost of repair. Obviously, minimize the best repair is no repair. Avoid the accident entirely, which since every Tesla comes with the most advanced active safety in the world, whether or not you buy full self-driving, you still get the intelligence of full self-driving for active safety, active collision prevention. So it's giving us this really good feedback loop for, again, reducing total cost of ownership, and also just figuring out how to get, if somebody's car is in an accident. Most accidents are actually small. They're like, a broken fender or scratched side of the car or something like that. They're not, that's the vast majority of accidents. But we're actually solving how to get somebody's car repaired very quickly and efficiently and back in their hands. And like I said, those improvements actually apply then to all cars. And like we're making, just to emphasize another key point, because some of these points might be lost, so I apologize for being repetitive, but it's remarkable how small changes in design of the bumper and improving obviously improving the logistics of providing spare parts needed for collision repair have an enormous effect on the repair cost. So if you're waiting for a part to get repaired and that part takes a month, now you've got a month of having to rent another car. It's very extremely expensive, and of course you're missing the car that you love and actually want to drive. So this is actually a very significant effect on total cost of ownership and customer happiness.
Thank you. The next question from investors is Cybertruck production still on track for mid-year?
We do expect production to start, I don't know, maybe sometime this summer, but I always try to downplay the start of production because the start of production is always very slow. But it increases exponentially, but it's always very slow at first. So I wouldn't put too much stock in start of production. It's kind of when does volume production actually happen, and that's next year.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right, Elon. Just to emphasize on that, we've started installation of all the production equipment here in Giga, Texas. Castings, GA, general assembly, body shops. We built all our beta vehicles, some more coming still in the next month, but as you said, the ramp will really come 2024.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. And the last investor question is, with near infinite global demand for energy storage,
yeah, seriously,
where should Tesla build the next megapack factories? How many are needed on each continent?
It's a good question. It's not something I think we'll provide an update about that in the future, but it's something we're thinking about very carefully. Really kind of what is the fastest path to 1,000 gigawatt hours a year of production? You'll see announcements come out later this year and next that answer that question.
Thank you. Okay, and now let's go to analyst questions. The first analyst question comes from Rod Lache from Wolfe Research. And Rod, feel free to unmute your mic.
I think I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, it sounds like your 1.8 million unit volume indication for this year is somewhat more supply constrained and demand constrained. Then I have a follow-up on cost, but is that an accurate statement?
Well, okay. I mean, our internal production potential is actually closer to 2 million vehicles, but we're saying 1.8 because I don't know. There just always seems to be some friggin' force majeure thing that happens somewhere on Earth, and we don't control if there's earthquakes, tsunamis, wars, pandemics, etc. So if it's a smooth year, actually, without some big supply chain interruption or massive problem, we actually have the potential to do 2 million cars this year. We're not committing to that, but I'm just saying that's the potential. So, and I think there would be demand for that too.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. And on the cost side, the numbers that we just saw from you, as you pointed out, were weighed down by the 4860 ramp, the Berlin, Austin, gigacastings processes not at rate. Can you give us a bit of an indication of the headwind that you're absorbing from those things like you did last quarter? And then lastly, on cost, do you think that we can tease out an interesting data point from on where battery costs are headed from this announcement that you just made last night? If I'm correct, it looks like the investment cost per kilowatt hour is less than half of what I've seen anywhere else, maybe $30 a kilowatt hour for that capacity.
I don't think we want to say the specific number, but it's interesting if you look at the size of Giga Nevada that is allocated to make 100 gigawatt hours is a small fraction of the size that currently makes about 35.
Yeah, I mean, the goals we outlaid at Battery Day on reducing the investment required to deploy cell manufacturing. I mean, that's been a key focus of ours, and the team is doing a good job hitting the marks on that focus.
Yeah, and it goes back to the point I was making, and I said this several years ago. I think Tesla's really the competitive strength that will be by far the hardest for other companies to replicate is Tesla being just damn good at manufacturing and having the most advanced manufacturing technology in the world. And if you've got that sort of advanced manufacturing toolbox, you can apply it to many things. And we're applying it now to battery cells. I should also say that we have other products in development. We're not going to announce them, obviously, but they're very exciting. And I think we'll blow people's minds when we reveal them. Tesla has the most exciting product roadmap of any company on Earth by a long shot, and we'll continue to, I think, be in that position. We got more great ideas than we know what to do with here. So the future is very exciting. As I said in the last call, there's going to be bumps along the way, and I think we'll probably have a pretty difficult recession this year. Probably, I hope not, but probably. And so one can't predict the short-term sort of stock value because when there's a recession and people panic in the stock market, then prices of stocks, both value of stocks can drop sometimes to surprisingly low levels. But long term, I am convinced that Tesla will be the most valuable company on Earth.
Thank you. And I think, Zach, there was a question on cost headwind in Q4.
Yeah. I mean, our weighted average COGS for the company, if you were to assume Austin and Berlin were at the cost structure of our other factories, it was on the order of 2,000 to 2,500 of headwinds. So I think from there you can back into margin impact of those factories as of end of Q4.
Thank you very much. And let's go to the next question from Pierre Ferragu from New Street Research. Pierre, please go ahead.
Thanks, Martin. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Excellent. Zach, I'd like to follow up on the data point you just gave on cost. If I look back at the COGS per car, you guys bottomed close to $36,000 in the middle of 2021. And then the number went up as you had to face with inflation in input cost and the ramp of Berlin and Texas. And this quarter, I think we are close to $40K, and we peaked maybe close to $42,000 at some point last year. And so my question from here is, how much time do you think it takes you to get back to this kind of 36K, which would mean, Berlin and Texas and like the input cost, all that stuff is normalizing. Is that and that would be like a kind of like a 10% decline in the COGS per car. Is that something we can hope to see this year, or is that too optimistic?
The Austin and Berlin ramp in efficiencies in 4680 will make a substantial amount of progress on that over the course of the year, and that's within Tesla's control. We're doing a lot of work on cost reduction outside of that, and we talked about supply chain costs, expedites, logistics, attacking everything. On the raw materials and inflation side, where lithium is the large driver there, and this was a meaningful source of cost increase for us, we'll have to see where lithium prices go. And, we're not fully exposed to lithium prices, but I think in general, is what we've seen from our forecasts here, cost per car of lithium in 2023 will be higher than 2022. So, that's a headwind that would have to be overcome to return back to those levels. So I don't think we'll get there this year, but I think we'll make progress. And we'll continue to find ways to offset these raw material costs that we don't have control over. And is there anything on that?
Yeah, like on the non-cells raw material, we begin to capture benefits of indexes tapering off. But due to the length of various supply chains, it does take time before this is reflected in our financials.
And while aluminum is down like 20% year over year, steel is about 30% down year over year. The global non-cells raw materials market continues to be influenced by geopolitical situations in Europe, high production costs due to labor cost increases and energy spikes, and disruptions due to natural disasters like typhoon in Korea 4 months ago, pandemic lockdowns. So we believe that meaningful price corrections will ultimately come, but it remains uncertain exactly when. In the meantime, we continue to redesign supply chain to make it more efficient and work with our supplier partners to find more efficiencies, streamline logistics and transportation to reduce costs.
Excellent, thank you. And I have a quick.
Sorry, Drew wanted to say something.
I was just going to say, we're also, our fleet is starting to mature, the 3Y fleet, and we're gathering a lot of data out of that fleet to understand how we can sort of bring some margin that we didn't know we had out of the product. So over the course of 2023 on the powertrain side, we're actually going to go after sort of some materials where we're paying for more performance than we need, or we have more content than we need without impacting reliability at all. And that will actually add up to a pretty significant cost reduction on the powertrain side over the course of 2023. So we're not just sort of relying on supply, we're also doing design actions to bring cost out.
Yeah, and my guess is if there is if the recession is a serious one, and I think it probably will be, but I hope it isn't. That then that would lead to meaningful decreases in almost all of our input costs. So I would expect to see deflation in our input costs most likely, which would then lead to better margins. I'm just guessing here. So this is, but that would be my guess.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So as a quick follow-up, Elon, I was thinking about like FSD, and when you look at like the situation today compared to a year ago, it's like the progress has been like amazing in the quality of the product, but also its rollout. And so I was wondering, how much is this like impacting the take rate of FSD today? So do you already see that people are getting more excited by FSD because they see it around them on 400,000 cars and they see the value of the service already? Or is that too early to really see like to expect like an uptick in the take rate?
The trend is very strong towards use of FSD. And as you allude to, with each incremental improvement, the enthusiasm obviously increases. So I think something that still a lot of people out there don't quite appreciate is that Tesla, I've always said like Tesla is as much a software company as a hardware company, but Tesla is really one of the world's leading AI companies. This is kind of a big deal, both AI on the software side and on the hardware side. With the hardware 3 inference computer, still the most efficient inference computer in the world, despite being at this point 5 years old from the design point. And with hardware 4 coming, and then hardware 5 beyond that, where there are significant leaps. And the Dojo computer, we expect to be using that operationally at Tesla later this year. And we're seeing just a lot of world-class AI talent join the company. There's also the long-term potential of Optimus, where we're able to use our expertise in electric motors and power electronics, batteries, and advanced manufacturing to be able to make a humanoid robot that is actually useful and can be made at high volume with exceptional capabilities because of the autopilot AI that where we take because the car is like a robot on 4 wheels and the Optimus is a robot on legs. But as we get closer and closer to solving real world AI, and we don't see anyone even close to us in achieving this, you know, the value. I think you appreciate this, and a few others do, but most don't know what I'm talking about. So, but this is the thing that, you know, has order of magnitude potential market cap improvement for Tesla.
Thank you. And the next question comes from Alex Potter from Piper Sandler.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. So quick one on FSD. This, I guess, for Zach. Obviously, you unlock some deferred revenue in the quarter that'll translate presumably into higher margins on every incremental sale going forward, so long as people opt in for FSD. But was wondering if you're able to disclose the percentage of the $15,000 price that you're not going to be able to recognize as revenue up front rather than deferred.
Yeah, I mean, the way that we've structured this is a full self-driving package is two components. There's enhanced autopilot, the price of which is listed on the website. We fully recognize that. Then there's an incremental, which is for the additional features that full self-driving offers. And we've released a portion of that. And then there's a minority of the total package that's remaining that will be released over time as software updates are there. And you know, in our shareholder letter, in addition to disclosing the dollar amount of the deferred revenue release, we also included in there the dollar value of the balance of unreleased deferred revenue that will be released over time with future software updates.
Okay, great. And then maybe one additional question here on the incremental capacity in Nevada, the 4680s that you're planning. It's a lot of batteries, obviously, and presumably you won't be putting all of those in Tesla Semi. So I guess two questions about that incremental capacity. First, is it correct to assume that all of those 4680s are going to be more or less fungible and usable in your entire range of products? And if the answer is yes, then if you had to guess, how do you think that 100 gigawatt hours would be allocated between your various end markets?
I don't know. This is a bit too much guessing at this point.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're right. Not all of the 100 gigawatt hours are going to go into the semi trucks. That is correct. I mean, we can.
Let's say, like we you know, I alluded to, you know, a number of future products. Those future products would use the 4680.
Thank you. And the next question comes from George from Canaccord Research.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking my question. So you recently adjusted prices, and that may have put many of your competitors in the back foot. In addition to that, you know, capital markets have recently gotten a lot tougher. So with those factors in mind, I'm curious how you see the current competitive landscape changing over the next few years, and who you see as your chief competitors, you know, 5 years from now.
Well, 5 years. 5 years is a long time. You know, I was with the Tesla Autopilot AI team until late last night, and we're just asking. I was just like, so who do we think is close to Tesla for a general solution for self-driving, and we still don't even know really who would even be the distant second. So yeah, it really seems like we're. I mean, right now, I don't think you could see second place with a telescope. So, or at least we can't. That won't last forever. So, in 5 years, I don't know. Probably somebody's figured it out. I don't think it's any of the car companies that we're aware of. But I'm just guessing that someone might figure it out eventually. So, yeah.
I mean, beyond that, Elon, like in the vehicle space, even though the market's shrinking, we're growing, and EVs have doubled almost year over year. So, like, whoever keeps up with the trend of the EVs is going to be our competitor. And the Chinese are scary. We always say that. But like, a lot of people always look at the EV market share, but we always look at it as how much of the total vehicle space do we have, and we're just going to keep growing in that space. There's 95% for us to go get.
Yeah, and I don't want to say like I think we have a lot of respect for the car companies in China. They are the most competitive in the world. That is our experience, and the Chinese market is the most competitive. They work the hardest and they work the smartest. That's so a lot of respect for the China car companies that we're competing against. So if I were to guess, it would probably be some company out of China is the most likely, to be second, to Tesla. But we are the Tesla China team is winning in China. And I think we actually are able to attract the best talent in China. So hopefully that continues. So yeah, super fired up about the future, and yeah, well, it's going to be great.
Just as a follow-up, the Inflation Reduction Act has created huge tax incentives for commercial vehicles. You mentioned an incredibly interesting product pipeline. Are there maybe some plans to accelerate commercial vehicle form factors outside of the Tesla Semi to help accelerate EV adoption?
Well, I was basically saying that, yes, but I'm not going to give you details because this is nice try. Yeah, of course. So we have to always look at like what is the limiting factor for new vehicles, because if for the longest time we've been constrained on total cell lithium ion production output, and so people say like why not bring this other car to market or that other car to market? Well, it doesn't really help if all you're doing is shuffling around the batteries from one car to another. In fact, it hurts because you add complexity, but you don't add incremental volume. So it's sort of pointless. In fact, counterproductive to add model complexity without solving the availability of lithium-ion batteries. So as we get, we want a new product introduction to match where the cells are available for that new product to use those cells without cannibalizing the cells of the other cars. That's the actual limiting factor for new models, not anything else really.
Thank you. Let's go to the next question. The next question comes from William Stein from Truist.
Great. Thanks for taking my question. Elon, you started to answer this earlier, but I like to ask this question about the AI elements of your business and ask if you could comment on progress around Dojo and Optimus and your anticipation for the likelihood, for example, for the company to disconnect the GPU cluster in favor of Dojo and to have some market achievement in Optimus.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, since we're still at the early stages, there are big error bars in any predictions. So it's like easy to predict the long term, but hard to predict the time in between now and then. But we think Dojo will be competitive with the NVIDIA H1 at the end of this year, and then hopefully surpass it next year. The key there is like I think what's the energy usage required for a given amount of if you're training a frame of video, what's the energy cost required to do that training? And we think probably we said this already actually at AI Day 2, so it's not new information, but we do see potential for an order of magnitude improvement relative to GPU, what GPUs can do for Dojo, which is obviously very specialized for AI training. It's hyper specialized for AI training. So it's not wouldn't be great for other things, but it should be extremely good for AI training. So just like if you do an ASIC for something, it's going to be better than a CPU. This is sort of in some ways like a giant ASIC, and we're able to. Since we're operating one of the biggest GPU clusters in the world already, we've got a good sense of how efficient the GPU clusters operate and what Dojo needs to do in order to be competitive. But we think that it does have a fundamental architectural advantage because it's designed not to be the GPU is trying to do many things for many people. They're trying to do graphics, video games, doing crypto mining. It's doing a lot of things. We're just doing one thing, and that is training. And we're also optimizing the low-level software so it at a very sort of bare metal level. So it's just insanely good at efficient training. And the intercommunication between the Dojo modules is extremely high. So you're not going across an Ethernet cable. So anyway, we see a path to an order of magnitude improvement in the energy efficiency per given unit of training. But we also have to achieve that, and so when will it be achieved? It's hard to say, but we do see a path to get there. And then also in inference, like once you've got something trained, well, if you want to have a product, that's a consequence of that training, and that product may not be anything to do with cars, then the efficiency of inference is extremely important. And we also have by far the most efficient inference computer with the FSD computer in the car. This has potential for products that aren't even really in automotive.
Thank you. William, do you have a follow-up?
Yeah, it sounds like the 1.8 million units you expect this year is supply, not demand limited supply. It sounds like by the lithium batteries. If you were to become demand limited, can you talk to us about your propensity to use price and your relatively high industry margins to grow units and share?
Yeah. To be clear, the 1.8 million is not self-supply limited. We did address that number earlier in the call. If you want to answer.
Yeah, it's roughly, a self-supply is roughly matched with that. And this is 1.8 million cars. If we get lucky, it could be more. And then the rest would go into stationary storage, the Powerwall and Megapack. True.
Okay, let's have the final question from Adam Jonas.
Hi, Elon. First question is it time for Tesla to significantly expand the captive FinCo? I mean, you only have like $4.5 billion of these receivables. It's basically nothing compared to other big auto companies. Then I have a follow-up.
Zach, maybe that's best to answer that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the way that we've been using captive financing so far is to plug what we believe to be gaps in the market of existing third-party products. And so we have a couple of offerings in Europe. We do loans for our energy business, retail energy business here in the US. We do leasing, and we do a small amount of US loans that are very targeted. And so we're using captives to support market caps, as I mentioned. So basically as a vehicle to support vehicle sales, make sure customers have access. I do think there's opportunity here to continue to grow this. We are growing it slowly here. It is a consumer of cash, so we're being cautious on how we do that. But the plumbing is in place to do a lot more here. And I think we'll have to see how things unfold over the course of the year and make decisions real time as to how much we ramp it up versus ramp it back.
I think if we see a severe recession this year, which, like I said, hopefully we don't. In severe recessions, cash is king big time because it's in such short supply. So we want to be cautious about using cash for loans and that sort of thing for cars. I feel we're in a very strong position to get through a recession because we really don't have any debt, and we've got over $20 billion of cash, which is great. Actually, the cash is earning a ridiculous return, not a good return. So it's like non-trivial. The interest rate is actually means the 20 billion is earning like quite a good amount. And I've made this point on Twitter a few times, and I'm sure a lot of people on this call understand the basic value of a security is a function of the risk-free rate, or we'll see how risk-free it really is, but of the T-bill rate. So if you've got, I think if I recall correctly, the S&P 500 has a long-term rate of return of roughly 6%. And so I think the Fed needs to be very cautious about having a Fed rate that potentially exceeds 6%. If we see deflation, and I think we are seeing deflation, then you would add the deflation number to the in quotes risk-free rate from the Fed, and as that starts to exceed 6%, now you're starting to exceed the long-term return of the S&P 500, and it starts to become questionable as to why not just put your money in T-bills or a savings account essentially instead of in the S&P 500 if the S&P 500 is variable and the bank interest rate is not. This is so basically the Fed is at risk of crushing the value of all equities. This is quite a serious danger.
Thanks, Elon. And just a follow up. I don't want to steal thunder from March 1st down in Austin, but how close are we to that step change improvement in BOM cost, where you could sell an EV for under 25 or 30,000 bucks and actually generate a profit? That kind of real moving assembly line moment in manufacturing. Again, don't want to steal the thunder, but just if you wanted to kind of wrap up with thoughts there, that'd be helpful.
Oh, man.
Thanks, Elon.
I mean, I'd love to answer. If I were you, I'd probably be asking the same question, but we would be jumping the gun on future announcements.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone, for all your good questions, and we will see you again in 3 months' time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So that is the Tesla earnings call for today. Let me know what you guys thought. Tesla ripped all the way up to over $150 right now at $151 roughly. Let me know if you think it'll hold. Remember, guys, we cover all the major economic data here. We cover all the big earnings: Amazon, Apple, Google, Disney, whatever, Tesla, all that good stuff. We also cover every major economic release. So tomorrow we've got GDP, wholesale inventories, retail sales. A lot of stuff is dropping tomorrow. A lot of stuff. Okay, so be here bright and early on this live stream. If you hit the sub button and you hit the notification bell, you'll get an alert. We start streaming very, very early. So wake up tomorrow, tune into our live stream. We'll be back tomorrow morning to cover all the crazy data that's going to influence the market. We'll see if Tesla can withstand whatever numbers that show up. We got GDP growth coming out tomorrow. Just a lot of different things. So yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Check out our sponsors, guys. Check out Top Step. If you want to trade this craziness, you can see the E-mini on the right. Kind of moves very similar to Tesla. It's really the S&P 500 in the futures market is what the E-mini is. And you can day trade it, short it in futures without restriction. without PDT restriction or anything like that. And if you want to test out futures without risking a lot of money, try out Top Step. They're a funded account program. They give you a demo. If you can hit their targets on that demo and prove profitability, they fund you between $50,000 to $150,000 with a 90% split. They're the most legit futures funded program in the world. They've been around for over a decade. A great way to test yourself, regardless of whether you're funded or not. And if you're good enough as a trader, you can get funded with a 90% split. Check them out. Here is the link. You can get 20% off. Check out Chart Prime. Chart Prime is a trading view indicator service that gives you custom alerts. And honestly, Chart Prime has been surprisingly accurate today. If I pull up like the SPY, for instance, here, Chart Prime has been ridiculously accurate. It gives you really solid alerts, reversal alerts specifically. If you look at Chart Prime earlier today, just to put this into perspective here, so you guys can see Chart Prime, just ridiculously accurate, man. Let me let it load, but it gives you reversal alerts and a lot of other cool stuff. And it's not always right, of course, but like look at the first hour of the day here. Like just look at all these alerts. Possible reversal down. We'll look like John Madden for a second here. Reversal down, drop. Reversal up, bounce. Reversal up, bounce. Reversal up, bounce. And we pulled back to a support level. It showed you the support, bullish engulfing candle. We get a bounce. This one was wrong. This one was right, though. We get a nice little bounce. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 alerts, one was wrong out of 6. And the yesterday was even more accurate than this. Like if you look at yesterday's trading here, I don't even know if it was wrong all day during market hours yesterday. Look, reversal down, drop, reversal up, bounce. And we can go on and on and on for this, guys. It's called Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service. You can use it in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. I'll post the link to both of these here if I haven't already. A great way to help support the channel. I'm definitely biased in both of their favor because they're a sponsor of mine. So I'm certainly biased in their favor. But if you want to check them out, here is the link. Great way to help support the channel. Love you all. We'll be back bright and early. I appreciate everybody joining me here today. You can use it on whatever time frame you want. I can't guarantee any of this stuff is going to make you money. Good luck. I'm definitely biased in their favor. But yeah, again, we sat here trading for hours and hours, over 5 hours today. So, we got sponsors. We're going to plug the sponsors. Love you all. Y'all be good. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Be safe. We'll see what happens with Tesla. Join us for our live stream tomorrow. Later, guys.